Arkansas's #1 trusted source for weather. This is a severe weather alert.
Alright, good, I guess, early afternoon, Arkansas. This is Chief Forecaster coming back here once again, here to give you guys live tornado warning coverage for our folks up here in Northeastern Arkansas once again. For our folks in Wynn, we talked to you guys about this last night. You know, you had a tornado warning up there in Wynn last night. You're back under the tornado warning once again. So anyone that is in Cross County, the Mark Tree area, etc., need to be taking their tornado precautions immediately. And I'm going to put a little bit more urgency on this one because this storm is now moving at 66 miles per hour. So if you're in the path of this storm, do not waste time. Don't try to confirm it. Don't try to go outside and look for it, etc. You need to be hustling and getting into shelter here because this storm is not wasting any time getting into your location here. This is moving almost at 70 miles per hour. So anyone in these areas need to be taking their tornado precautions immediately. Tornado warning is going to go until 1 o'clock this afternoon here. Guys, if you bear me for just a little bit, I'm trying to get Twitter up. I think I should be up on YouTube. Let me double check and make sure, but I should be up on not on Twitter, on Facebook and YouTube here. So I'll just double check a couple things, making sure, and looks like I am. So give me just 1 second here. Let me go ahead and make sure that we're up on Twitter. Broadcast is now up. Sweet. We'll get this posted. And we're good to go. Okay. All right. So we're now live on Twitter. We should be live on Facebook and on YouTube. My guys can confirm that and make sure. But yeah, so right now, this is going to be it. Anybody in this area needs to be taking their tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and get to the lowest level of your home immediately at this time. Looks like we have 2 tornado warnings now for the same area. So what we're going to do here is, you know, we're not going to just prioritize one warning over the other. We're going to go ahead and put a track for this entire line of storms that's going to be pushing in, because not only this is going to be producing the potential of embedded tornadoes, but this is also going to be producing the potential of 70+ mile per hour winds. And I want to stress this. This is the exact line of storms that just came through the metro, and we now have over 100,000 customers without power right now across the state of Arkansas here. So we're going to move this. I'm going to clock it right at 70 miles per hour. So if you know anyone that's in this area here, that's Wynn, Forest City, Jonesboro, Truman, Brooklyn, over towards West Memphis, Paragould, the Osceola area, and Blytheville, go ahead, even if you're not in the tornado warning polygon itself, go ahead and get to safety immediately. Get away from windows, get away from those exterior walls, because not only are you dealing with the tornado threat, but the wind threat. The wind threat is going to be significant in this area. You're talking 70 mile per hour winds plus. Prepare for the potential of power outages, etc. What I'm going to do, and I'm going to at least try to do this here. I don't know if I have it on this area or not. I'll have to look here just a little bit, but I think I have a somewhere around here. I had a power outage code that I had that you guys could see. So give me just 1 second here. Let me see if I have that. Nope, I do not. It's on the other computer. Okay, that's fine. I can get that up later on. But if you know anyone in these areas, make sure they're taking their tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows. Put as many walls between yourself, the outside as possible. Get to that lowest, most interior room possible. I cannot stress that enough here. Biggest thing I want to stress as well, like I mentioned before, the tornado threat is there, but the wind threat. They are really harping on the wind threat here, guys. Not only the tornado threat, but the wind threat with this here. So you guys can remember me for just a second. I'm having to connect to the computer on our backup studio here, because I want to get up the power outages here. So if you give me just 1 second, I'm gonna try to get this up and going for you guys here. So I'm just gonna have to find it. And if you guys give me just 1 second, because I'm going to have the power outages number at the bottom of your screen, so you guys can kind of keep up with what's going on with that here. So anybody in these areas, if you are under that tornado warning right now, even if you're under that severe thunderstorm warning, get to shelter immediately here. It's noon. A lot of folks are outside, you know, doing plans, stuff like that. It's a Saturday afternoon. It's time to get inside. It's time to get away from those windows. It's time to get to that exterior wall here, guys. So bear me for just a second here. I'm going to attempt to try to get the power outage number here. If you give me just 1 second, I'm going to have to find it here. So Give me 1 second here. I'm not sure where it is. It's somewhere on here. I'm gonna have to find it here. So give me just 1 second. Let me see if I can find that code. It's somewhere in here. It's gonna be, I just saw it. Hang on. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm having to do this real quick. So let me see something real fast here. Yep, there it is. So it is down 118,000 people without power. So I believe that's gonna be it. Yep, that's gonna be it right there. Okay, all right, give me 1 second, guys. All right, so let me see something real quick. All right, hang on 1 second here. So okay, I'm having to do something on the fly, so give me just 1 second. I'm gonna move this over here. Okay, and there we go. All right, so we now have that. Give me just 1 second. I'm gonna put this up on the screen because, like I said, the power outage number right now is rather significant across the area here. So give me just 1 second. I'm gonna get that up real quickly here, and if it's gonna be just a second here, it's gonna be right here. All right, so gonna get the power outage number up real faster. There it is. So that's gonna be the current power outages at this current point. I'm gonna put this right here, right in the center, so you guys kind of see the power outage total right now. That's the current power outages right now across the state. 118,366 customers without power across the state of Arkansas right now, and that number is going to rapidly increase as we move later on into this afternoon, into this evening here. So folks in this area, make sure that you are taking your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and get to the lowest level of your home immediately at this time. Like I said before, do not prioritize the tornado warning. National Weather Service is really harping that this entire line of storms here, this is why we have this big track that's drawn out from Tuckerman all the way through, not just focusing on the tornado warning itself, but the severe thunderstorm warning, because this entire line of storms will be capable of 70-mile-per-hour winds and embedded tornadoes here. So keep that in mind. So if you know anyone in the Forest City area, the Wynn area, over towards Truman, Jonesboro, Brooklyn, West Memphis, Paragould, over toward Blytheville, make sure that you're taking your tornado precautions immediately. Dustin, are you in here? Do you want me to, are you on the stream? Okay, sweet. All right, give me 1 second. I'll get you up. 1 second. Let me see here. I'll go ahead and get you going here. So, all right, looks like you are, there you are. There we go. All right, so let me go ahead and I will get Dustin up and we will be ready to go here. So 1 second, guys. That's going to be it. And boom, you should be popping up here shortly. And there you go. All right, so like I said before, just welcome Dustin back, guys. He was here last night when we were doing the tornado warning coverage in Northeast Arkansas. You know, Dustin, we're back at it once again, man. You know, the same area up here in Northeastern Arkansas, the Wynn area, back under the gun once again for the tornado threat. So let me go ahead and get your camera kind of set up and ready to go. Looks like we're good to go. All right, so if you want to kind of read any kind of latest reports that we've got for these areas right now.
Let's see, the latest one I have there is a tornado, which is everything is radar indicated at the you know, right now there's nothing that we can definitely tell that's on the ground, so that's really good news. Everything is. Now there is another severe thunderstorm warning that just got issued with damage threat considerable due to the winds being 70 miles per hour and 1 inch diameter hail for the Clay, Craighead, Crittenden, Cross, St. Francis, all up here in Northeast Arkansas. That just got issued with a damage threat considerable due to it being 70-mile-per-hour winds with 1 inch diameter hail, folks. This is nothing to be playing around with. Get inside. Yep.
So for some reason are we live on? Okay, so we're not live on Twitter for some reason. I apologize for that. So give me just a second here. I'm not sure what happened there. So let's see.
Technology being technology.
Yeah, technology being technology. So it's a very, very, very easy fix. Give me 1 second, and we will get us set up and ready to go for Twitter. So there we go. All right. So we should be live on Twitter. I'm not sure what happened there, but we're good to go here. So it's gonna be coming up here in just a moment. Let me make sure that it popped up over here, and we should be good to go. All right, so I'm going to create that broadcast. And we're now live on Twitter officially. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we're good here. All right, awesome. Okay, so now we're live on Twitter. I was making sure, for some reason it wasn't popping up over here. We're also live on YouTube, and we're also live on Facebook at this current time here. So, like I said, you got myself, Dustin. We have our entire moderator and forecast team that's going to be keeping you guys updated. Right now, I would say just a call to action for my folks in the entire northeastern part of the state here, because not only are you dealing with the tornado threat, but this is going to be 70 to 75 mile per hour winds moving into this area here. So, folks, if you're watching this right now, you're in northeastern Arkansas, I'm charging some devices. I'm getting stuff ready to go, because this line is capable of producing widespread power outages here. As you can see, the total power outage right now in Arkansas is 114,956 customers without power. This has affected the metro. This has affected our folks down in Southwest Arkansas, and this is going to continue to kind of bow into northeastern Arkansas here. Now, this is part of it being a little tired here, guys. I was up for, considerable amount of time.
Something else too, Cameron, that you're looking at. These storms here are moving at 65 miles per hour. So
Correct.
These storms are not playing around. These are moving faster than a mile a minute. So that means that these things will be on you, and you will, feel the effects of these storms long before, you realize that you're trying to go out there and see what's going on. And with 1-inch diameter hail, this is not something you want to be messing around with. This is not something you want to be caught outside doing. It is a Saturday, I understand that, but you need to be inside in the lowest level of your home. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. As my phone's going off now here, talking about a tornado warning in the Poinsett County area, as they just issued a new warning. So
I was about to say, if you need to seek shelter, get to your safe spot, you can, man.
I'm good. We're good.
Okay, so right now the biggest thing is going to be this line of storms here, and I like I said before, the National Service is Memphis is, well, first and foremost, this area did get upgraded to a level 4 moderate risk. I'm going to kind of throw that out there because I think that's been kind of lost in the traffic today here, guys. This area did get upgraded to a level 4, especially from Wynn to Memphis over to West Tennessee and into northern Mississippi here. So there's that. For the right reasons, because you have a lot of storms that's pivoting through the area that's going to be capable of producing widespread damaging winds and also embedded tornadoes here up here in northeastern Arkansas. So my folks in Blytheville, Jonesboro, Paragould, Harrisburg, Wynn, Forest City, Memphis, etc., you need to get to your safe spots immediately. Dustin, I got a text up there real quick to make sure that they're good. So if you could take over for just a second here. So
we're going to be looking at the latest tornado warning that does go for the Craighead, Cross, Mississippi, and Poinsett counties, and then into Tennessee as well. But here in Arkansas, it is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. Is located near Hickory Ridge, 14 miles southwest of Harrisburg, moving east at 70 miles per hour. Plus, this is moving very, very quickly across the state. Is at 70 miles per hour. These winds are going to get to you very quickly, and it's going to cause some widespread damage. Even if a tornado does not touch down from this, there will be damage due to the strength of some of these winds and how fast that this storm is moving. And if you are in the warned area, take your tornado precautions. Do not try to go outside and just because it's daytime and try to see anything. It's not going to be worth the time. These winds are very powerful, and also 1-inch diameter hail as well coming down with this storm. Folks, if you are in the areas anywhere from even as far as Lake City, if you know anybody in Lake City that is just south into the east of Jonesboro, they are in this tornado warning polygon. It looks like the majority of it may pass just to their south, but folks, if you know anybody out there, let them know so that way they can be prepared all the way down to Forest City, as we are seeing these tornado warnings from this bowing of the system as it is coming into northeastern Arkansas.
Yeah, so what I have done here is, normally we have a dual radar up. I feel like right now, as things kind of stand, we need to kind of prioritize Northeastern Arkansas to a T. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to I've got us set up in a box, Dustin, to where obviously it's got the sky cam here in downtown Little Rock, etc. But I want to prioritize this up here in Northeastern Arkansas right now because we have not only the threat for tornadoes up here, but the threat for very, 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 very significant straight line wind damage up here. Folks that are listening to this right now, I want to stress, even if you're not in the tornado warning itself, you need to seek shelter. This is a very powerful line of storms. That if you've been here in Little Rock, you know full well what this line of storms is capable of doing. This is going to continue to move into this general area here. So folks, we want to stress right now, take your tornado precautions immediately, even if you're outside of the tornado warning right now, because this line will be capable of producing 70 plus mile per hour winds here. That will be enough to do damage. That's enough to put out power lines, etc. So folks, treat this like it's a tornado warning. I'm talking the entire line itself. Yeah, go ahead, Dustin.
Here's the other thing too, is everything is wet, the ground is saturated. You put 70 mile per hour winds with that is a damage threat waiting to happen. That is going to cause trees to be uprooted. And I saw a question earlier that if, just because you're not affected in the Jonesboro area right now, this warning does not affect the downtown Jonesboro area. But I would encourage you to definitely stay weather aware in Jonesboro and be prepared as this line is still coming towards you.
I was going to say, if I'm in Jonesboro right now, just kind of echo what you were talking about, I'd go ahead and get to your safe spot if you're in Jonesboro, because regardless of where you are with the tornado warning polygon, this entire line is going to produce 70 mile per hour winds. That's, like I said, that's enough to bring down trees and power lines, etc. So if I'm in Jonesboro right now, I'm getting into shelter. You don't want to be outside during this, especially driving right now. If you're driving right now, it's lunchtime. I'm finding a gas station, I'm finding a grocery store, I'm finding a sturdy shelter to get into quickly, regardless if I'm in a tornado warning or not. So Jonesboro, Parago, anybody that's under that, you see that severe thunderstorm warning that's purple, that's for considerable damage here. That's 70 mile per hour winds plus getting ready to move through Northeastern Arkansas. This power outage scale that you see at the bottom of your screen, that number is fixing to get ready to jump significantly for our folks up here in Northeastern Arkansas. So regardless of where you are, tornado warning or not, get to shelter immediately here, because this will be capable of producing 70 mile per hour winds. This is what I get for drinking carbonated water. 70 mile per hour winds, and also the potential of a tornado along the line itself. Or like the National Service in Memphis is urging folks, this is an embedded tornado threat here. This is not a supercell that, it has this one defined area of rotation. You're going to have multiple rotations along the line itself. This is why we're stressing you guys, stop prioritizing just the tornado warning. This is a situation that you're going to have to prioritize the severe thunderstorm warning outside of there, because it's going to produce 70 plus mile per hour winds. That will bring down power lines, trees, etc. You do not want to be outside, and you definitely don't want to be traveling in this situation. As a matter of fact, Dustin, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take off the sky cam here in downtown Little Rock, and we're going to pull some iDrive cameras up real quick. Okay. And if you give me just a second, I didn't mean to make it that huge. I'll put it over here in our little corner over here so you guys kind of see what's going on. So I'm going to put it in Jonesboro right now. Multiple accidents, by the way. Folks, have some patience.
And something else that this thing, what people don't understand is that that is huge up there on the screen. So what people are not understanding is, folks, this winds from last night knocked over trains, derailed train cars. This put over 18-wheelers off on their side. Folks, these winds are not playing jokes. And yes, I sent a comment in there earlier that said, if you're hearing the tornado sirens, they're not playing games. It's not testing. They're not testing tornado sirens. And if you are in the tornado warning, you should not be outside in the first place. That is to alert people who are outside of their homes to get inside. Folks, if you're in the tornado warned area or anywhere in the vicinity as you're seeing these storms pass through, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. Get to the lowest level of your home. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Be safe. Play it smart. Don't be doing anything crazy. Don't be trying to be the hero that goes out and gets a video of this. This is
Yeah.
something that is coming at you at 70 miles an hour, and it is not messing around.
I will say this too, and this has been a situation over the last couple of days. First of all, folks, severe weather is not a joke. I don't know why people are thinking that we're joking around and all this stuff. Folks, severe weather is not a joke. It's not. Emergency management's been dealing with the same problem. People just being heartless right now and stuff like that. Folks, this is not a joke whatsoever. This is not a situation where we're laughing and giggling about it and trolling comments and stuff like that. Like, this is about as serious as a heart attack. This is up here in Northeastern Arkansas. Folks up here, and if we get a situation, a tornado touchdown, stuff like that, let emergency management handle it. That's their job. That's why they're called emergency management. Let them handle it. They are stressing it to a T right now because they've had folks, get in the way and everything like that. They want people to stay out of these areas as much as possible. Let them go in and do their jobs, folks, okay? This is not a joke. This is not a TikTok challenge or anything like that. This is
so they continue that tornado
attack.
warning. They continue that tornado warning as straight line winds go located near Colt or near wind moving northeast at 65 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And there's another thing to echo what Cam was saying is that these are going over areas that have been affected by multiple storms over the past couple of days to a week or so. That is why we're here alerting these people. As you look at the tornado in Fisher that happened without warning now has reports of 70 mile per hour wind gusts through there. That is your EF0, getting up your EF1 tornado type damage. Folks, these straight line winds are going to cause issues, and we're trying to get the alert to people downstream as much as possible that these storms are capable of producing a tornado, yes, but also those straight line winds are something that you will have to contend with and take very seriously along with the flooding threat.
Yeah, so not taking anything away from Northeastern Arkansas here, we've got John that's letting us know. He reports a rotation in Poinsett County, so that's from earlier on. Let's see, getting more reports of rotation here. Let's see, Whitehall down there in Pine Bluff here. That was earlier on. That storm has moved past that area and is now moving into Arkansas County, moving towards West Helen, which is now severe thunderstorm warning toward Pauls. They are now growing concerned about central Lee County, which is up here in Northeastern Arkansas. So Northeast Arkansas is going to take the priority right now, folks. Everybody else in the state is good to go in terms of the overall severe and tornado threat. But Northeastern Arkansas is going to take the show up here right now. I'm going to go ahead and put the counties up so that way folks got to get a visual of what we're talking about here, guys. So Central Lee County is going to be right here. There's St. Francis, Cross, Poinsett, Craighead County, Greene County, Clay County, Mississippi County, and then Crittenden County over here in eastern Arkansas. This entire line, I like I said, I'm not putting I'm not doing anything right now in terms of this thing's on the ground or anything like that. Folks, if you are in the path of this entire line of storms, you need to find shelter immediately. Don't prioritize, oh, hey, I'm outside the tornado warning polygon. I'm not going to seek shelter because it's just wind at the end of the day. No, folks, this is 70 mile per hour winds. If you are outside, it is potentially life-threatening wind. That is 70 mile per hour winds coming your way. That will bring down trees. That will cause damage. There's a reason why they have what's called a considerable damage tag with that severe thunderstorm warning in place here. The tornado warnings are there for a reason because of the areas of rotation along the line itself. But folks, I'm stressing my folks that are living from Phillips County all the way up to Greene County here, you need to be taking your tornado precautions here, regardless if you're under a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning at this current time here, and stop prioritizing just tornadoes, guys. Severe weather is more than just tornadoes. We've stressed this so many times over the last couple of days. Severe weather is more than just tornadoes here. You've got to take this entire, I say from Clay County all the way down to Phillips County. If you are in the path of this line And you can ask our folks here in the metro. That line came through about an hour ago, and it sounded like a hurricane was coming through here. This line is capable of producing 70-mile-per-hour winds plus, along with the tornado threat here. Here's why my folks in Lawrence County, Greene County, Clay County, Mississippi County, Craighead, all the way down to Phillips County. Stop prioritizing the tornado warning. Just because you're not under the tornado warning doesn't mean you need to seek shelter immediately here.
Yeah, what's up, John?
Yeah, John, what's up? Yeah. Okay. What's going? Can you hop into the chat? Because I can pull you. I can get you up on live stream if you. Oh, you're in there. Sweet. So we're gonna go to the dual radar. All right. Give me 1 second. And John, I'm gonna scoot this over. And John, I'm gonna get you in here in just a second. So. There you are. Let me give you one.
Well, hey, we got something popping up in the chat. What we got? Okay, yes, what? Never mind. We got it. That's what she was talking about. Wiener, you need to take cover. Okay. Hey,
Yeah,
and also
so-
something else that's talking about this is that these are going over, the same areas over and over and over again. Plus, these people have been impacted. This is not a joke. This is not round. This is another round of storms that is coming past your way. Wind in these areas, we need you to be taking cover, taking shelter as these storms pass through at 70 miles an hour.
So, and like I said, it still continues to sound very loud here in Little Rock right now here. So give me just 1 second. John, I'm getting you set up and ready to go. So now we've got John in the building now here. He's going to be giving us updates from the National Weather Service here. We've got Dustin, we've got myself, we got our entire moderator team. We've got Heidi, we've got Erica, we also got Abigail and Allie, everybody else, all of our shelters immediately here. Not shelters, our moderators here. We got all the moderators here that's going to be keeping you guys updated here, guys. So any of those areas here, guys, folks that are watching this, okay, if you are in the wind area, if you are in, or if you're, I'll put it this way, if you are ahead of this line of storms, you need to be taking shelter now, okay? I understand folks are freaking out. Folks, this is why we tell y'all stop ignoring severe weather tips before severe weather strikes. Okay, I get a lot of folks like to wait till last second and wait to the situation where, like, I'll believe it when I see it. Folks, severe weather does not care about that. They don't. We tell y'all in advance to prepare in advance, and this is what we've got right now here, okay? So if you are in this area, what I need you to do, I need you to put those safety tips that we've been harping over the last week into motion. That's getting into that lowest center part of your home, putting as many walls.
We have a new
to
tornado
yourself
warning
and
coming
the
from
others
Craighead
possible.
County.
Okay, so that's just adding on. So that's just adding on to what we've been talking about here, folks. If you are along the line itself, like we're at this point, you can't prioritize just a tornado warning here. If you are along that line, all the way from Clay County, all the way down to down to Phillips County, folks, get to shelter immediately here, okay? Don't waste time. Don't try to go outside and see the tornado. This is not going to be a situation that you see out in the plains where this thing is on the ground. You can see it as clear as day. This is going to be rain-wrapped along the line of storms itself. Folks, stop wasting time and get to shelter immediately. I want to make that crystal clear at this point here, guys, okay? Don't prioritize just a tornado warning here, folks, that from Clay County all the way down, you need to be seeking shelter immediately. Regardless of the tornado threat, this is going to produce 70-mile-per-hour winds plus. That is enough to bring down trees. Power outages are going to start going through the roof. We're already at 116,000 across the state. That number will continue to climb over the next, I would say, over the next 30 minutes to an hour, folks. So make sure if you know anybody in this area that they're taking their tornado precautions immediately. John, I know you're in communication with the National Weather Service in Memphis. What are they saying regarding to this line at this current time?
Yeah, so we got some significant bowing going on, and this was causing all these thunderstorms that's got embedded tornadoes or possible embedded tornadoes. So we're just watching the area, and also we're under a flash flood emergency at the moment for a lot of this area.
Yeah. And that's another problem that we have too. So not only just a tornado threat, but the flooding threat. The flooding threat that it's being ignored right now and everything like that, folks. I would love if people treated flooding like they did tornadoes. I would absolutely love if they did that because it would save more lives. It would keep people more aware. I get the popularity with tornadoes, but folks, there's more to severe weather than just a freaking wedge in the sky, okay? There's flooding, there's wind, there's hail. There's a lot that goes into severe weather than just tornadoes, guys, okay? So anybody in these areas...
Tornadoes is just a worst case scenario.
Correct, exactly. You can have wind, you can have damaging wind, you can have large hail, you can have flooding, widespread flooding across the state right now. So, folks, if you are in this area, we get the tornado warnings. They're putting the tornado warnings in place for the areas of rotation along the line, but don't focus on just those tornado warnings here. Those severe thunderstorm warnings don't need to be ignored either here, guys, okay?
That's something else, too. Right, is 70 mile per hour wind. 70 mile per hour winds are doing as much damage as the EF0 up to an EF1 tornado. That means that they could knock over substantial shelter or buildings. They can knock over trees and power lines. They could fall over on people traveling or homes. Folks, there still is a damage to life and also to property with this situation that's more than just seeing a tornado on the ground. As Cameron was talking about earlier, these things are producing 70 mile per hour wind gusts. That is something that is very going under the radar here by people are not paying attention to the fact that these things are producing, moving at 65 miles per hour. These are going to be on you in a matter of minutes. So if you're in the tornado polygon, do not take this lightly. As John was saying just a minute ago, flash flooding is a main concern, a big deal with these storms. It has already been since last night. We saw areas of flash flooding. We woke up to areas and towns that are flooded completely. So folks, pay very close attention to these storms as they come through. This is not, just a round of thunderstorms and then, hey, we'll be done. This is some severe flooding as well as major wind that is coming through an area that has been worked over time and time again for the past week to 2 weeks.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do
is... And the tornado sirens are going off in Truman now.
Yeah, so, and for the right reason. You have a situation like this where you have all these, like I said, all this activity going on right now here. So what we're going to do, this is the Memphis radar. I'm going to zoom this down. I'm going to leave that track up, by the way. So for those that are kind of watching this, I'm going to put this list right over here. If you see your city on this list, you see your time, get to shelter, okay? Don't waste time. Don't go and try to see it for yourself or anything like that. You're not going. All you're going to see is a wall of rain coming your way. That's all you're going to see. You're not going to see a big wedge or anything like that folks watch on, from Reed and all that. You're not going to see a big wedge coming your way, folks. This is going to be a wall of rain, a wall of rain and wind coming your way here with the rotation, brief rotation along the line. This ain't a situation where, yesterday and a couple of days before where you had the supercells and they were producing these big wedges that everybody could see. This is more of your embedded tornadoes now. The tornadoes are going to be along the line that you're not going to see until it's literally right on top of you. And by then, that's a threat to yourself. That's a threat to everybody else, because once you go outside, you're going to drag everybody else with you. That's how it's going to be. Everybody else is going to be wanting to see the exact same thing that you see. And a tornado touches down within a brief second. You're not Superman. You're not going to have time to get back in the shelter once that tornado touches down, and that's going to be the worst case scenario for you and whoever else you drug along with you. So
we saw that with wind last night.
Correct. That was the wind tornado. I'm fairly certain that was a tornado that dropped down. It was quick. It happened so fast. It lifted as quickly as it touched down, guys. And that's exactly what's going to happen with these little areas of rotation in Poinsett County, Cross County, all the way down. This is the situation right now here, folks. If you are along this line of storms and just to the east, we're going to tell you to treat this like if there's a big old tornado warning right now for the northeastern corner of the state. Because a lot of people like to prioritize
Jonesboro is in the tornado warning now. So correct. Jonesboro, this wind is coming into your area, and it is going to impact Jonesboro, the Lake City area, folks. If you know anybody in Lake City and Monette, the fact that they got hit just the other day, go ahead and let them know. Brooklyn, Jonesboro, be warning people downstream as this is heading their way. As John, I was looking at the fire text camera there. Camera, I don't know if you want to pull that up, but you can kind of see that line of storms as they're entering into northeast Arkansas.
Do you have that pulled up, John? Do you have a screen share?
Do you want the the RTMP link, or what do you mean to do screen share?
So yeah, do a screen share because I haven't figured out the RTMP link yet. that had to be something I have to break down the live stream and all that for. But if you can screen share it, what I can do is I'll put this power outage total that's now at 121,000. I'll put that up there at the top, and you'll be able to kind of show people what you're seeing on your side here. So give me just a second. I'm gonna move this right up here, okay? And I'm also
Yeah. So the National Weather Service Memphis is saying that they're going to be trying to get a handle on the overlapping tornado warnings.
Okay.
But they're wanting us to get out the word that we need to be letting people know to take shelter immediately.
Yeah, and that's that's the biggest story right now, folks. Is just you got to seek shelter. At the end of the day, if you know anyone in these areas, they've got to seek shelter immediately. You have to at this point. Don't worry about trying to see the tornado, folks. Don't try to worry about all of that. This is why we have emergency management and everybody else that's taking care of all that for us here. But folks, I cannot stress this enough. Take your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows. Put as many walls to you and the outside as possible, and get to that lowest center part of your home immediately at this current time here. We cannot stress that enough at this current point. John, I've got your fire text camera up. It's coming up here shortly.
There it goes.
And there you go.
It's coming in and out.
Yeah. So I've got it pulled up. You have the control over there from your office. So you just do whatever you need to do with that, and we will go from there here. Okay. So right now, if you know anyone in these areas, make sure you take your tornado precautions immediately. Put as many walls to yourself and the outside as possible. I will say this, John. You can see the outer edge on that camera. Where's that camera pointed? Is it pointed to the west?
So this camera. Yeah, so this camera's pointing southwest.
Southwest, actually.
Yeah, the polygon that's. I can pull it up. I think I can pull it up for you, since we lost connection. So you can see. If you see my screen here, this is where it's facing this way. So let me see if I can move it this way toward the Jonesboro. Give me just a second.
Yeah, and John, before you do that, can you? I see it on your screen. The wind, the amount of winds with this. Mm-hmm. You're talking. Let me see if I can pull it up. I think I may be able to pull it up.
Well, you also see the amount of water that's out there on the ground as well. That's why we're also urging you to stay home. Is you do not need to be traveling or trying to out and see anything right now. This is something you need to be inside your house and at the lowest level. Put as many walls between you and outside as possible. As this now is capable of producing a tornado, is located near Truman, moving east at 65 miles per hour. Folks, this is coming into areas, very populated areas, and moving very quickly with high power winds.
Yeah. So I will say this though, we have a new brand new report, by the way. This is coming from Fisher. 70 mile per hour winds were reported in that area here. So it's not only the tornado threat, it's not only the severe thunderstorm threat with the wind, it is now also a flooding threat that you've got to watch as well here. So you notice something, folks. Normally we're able to go down, pinpoint where exactly the rotation is, and tell you exactly where it is. You notice we're not doing that this go around. It's because this entire line of storms is going to be capable of producing wind damage and tornadoes. We're treating this entire might as well. What we're doing here is we're pretty much saying that the entire northeastern corner of the state is under a tornado warning, pretty much, because you have so many areas of rotation along the line itself. There's just no point of picking apart each and every single one of those rotations. So what we're doing is we're giving you guys a more of a broader perspective on this. If you're in the Mariana area, Paragould, Leachville, over towards Helena, West Memphis, Osceola, the Gosnell area, and Blytheville, take your tornado precautions immediately, folks. Get away from windows.
Hey, Cameron?
Yeah, go ahead. What you got? What's up?
Hey, can you zoom in and look at Poinsett County? This is going to be the same exact track that happened the other night through Bay. So we're going to be coming up through north of Truman. Can you zoom in on that area just a little bit more?
Yeah, the bookend vortice. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, it's a bookend vortice right in here. So, yeah, it's right there, just southwest of Truman. It's going to be near Bay. Once again, in this certain same area here, we'll take a look at the. Oh wow! Oh boy! Hey! We're going to keep an eye on that, because that does look like that there's some sort of lowering here on your CC drop. So we'll have to keep an eye on that here. Let me go back over to Discord real quickly here, and I'm gonna say this too. Give me a second. If anybody in upper staff, if y'all need anything, please communicate it out to me. I know Erica, your microphone is not it's not working right now, but if you need anything, just kind of communicate it out. Same thing, Heidi, Kim. I don't know where Taylor is and them right now, but if y'all need it, just kind of communicate it to me instead of typing it out, because I'm having to kind of go between both what's going on here and everything like that. So. Let me see here. Okay, so right now,
so if you're,
go ahead.
So we're watching that there in Poinsett County. It should be crossing Interstate 555, coming close to Bay. I don't know what time frame this is. So this is getting close to the Bay area. So if you see my screen share. So this is going to be, I'm trying to get the camera to move, but we're having, okay, so I do have the camera moved a little bit more to the west. So this is pointing due west. And so we're trying to watch this. This is what's coming into Bay.
Yeah, and there is, that does not look good on that scan there, camera.
Mm-hmm. You see that? That is,
I see that.
Yeah, that's, we're going to have to keep an eye on that. That's what I'm worried about here. So, strong area of rotation, and the funny part about it's the entire line. You're trying to nitpick and like where the strongest area of rotation is. The entire line is rotating. I mean, that's why you have the tornado warning so widespread for these folks up here in Northeastern Arkansas. So I know, and also, by the way, look at how many colors you've got on here. You've got yellow, red, pink, green, all these colors on here right now here, guys. It looks like a paintball on the screen here, guys. That's just so much going on right now, guys, across Arkansas in terms of the flooding threat, the severe weather threat, the tornado warnings.
Cameron, can you do me a favor, Cam?
Yes, sir, I can.
Can you pull up the gate on that?
Mm-hmm. I sure
that
can.
Storm coming through Truman, because that is showing some major signs of rotation, and that is coming directly, like I said, right over just in between Truman and Bay. It's just taking that same path again. John, if you need to
I'm getting
shelter,
hail. I'm getting hail here at the office where this camera's at.
Okay. Oh, hey. That's Truman, right?
Yeah.
That camera. John, you've got a wall cloud on that camera. Yeah, you've got a wall cloud. You've got a wall cloud on that camera, right there. So, folks, that you're looking at this right now here. So, what I'm gonna do this.
Will you pull that up on too?
Yep. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off the radar that has a statewide view right now, and I'm gonna blow up that one that John has over here. If you give me just a moment, and we'll kind of take a look at this, because that's a wall cloud. You see the structure and everything like that. John, I've got your camera blown up on the screen. That's
Is
gonna
that
be
the McDonald's there in Mark Tree? Is that what that's pointing towards right there?
This camera is pointing toward the Central Ford, towards Central, down Highway 69 toward Highway 1.
Okay, I know what you're talking about then.
Yeah, so that's going to be up here in Northeast Arkansas. So you got that camp. So like I said, John's got control of it over there. Folks, anybody in this area, you need to be taking your turns. Yeah, what's up? Okay, so got a tornado warning that's going to get issued for, yes, okay, so that one is down there along the Arkansas-Louisiana border. That is not Arkansas just yet, Heidi. Thank you so much for letting me know. It's not Arkansas just yet, but that goes for my folks down there in Union County. So we're going to have to continue to monitor that southern end of the line. It's now starting to show areas of rotation too. So right now, until that tornado warning comes into Arkansas, we are going to kind of focus a little bit more on Northeastern.
Step out and get a visual, see what I got. Okay.
So you got John that's supposed to go outside and see what's going on at this point here. Leave it up to him. He's emergency management. So
we got. Hold on. I think we might have hail here in Truman. I'd have to step outside and see for just a minute. But it is, folks. The winds have picked up here in Northeast Arkansas, here in Truman, and it is raining. And it is very strong winds. It is not something to play around with. As you can see the camera, look at that. As you can see the wind.
Yeah, that camera.
Yeah, I'm not. I didn't step outside. It was raining.
Okay. So
I'm gonna check out the wind speed here. So the wind speed, we're getting 58 miles an hour sustained wind here at this camera.
63 now.
63, yeah.
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 So,
so
this is a very dangerous
74,
situation.
83 now, 87.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness. Folks,
Oh,
take shelter immediately.
yes.
This is not something to play around with. As you can see, as already on camera, there was a signature showing up. It's, even though it may not say a radar observed or radar, it's still showing radar indicated. Folks, the tornado sirens are going off for a reason, and a good reason at that. You should be in your tornado safe spot, lowest level of your home. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible.
Yeah. So let me see here.
For some reason, the wind just stopped.
That's not good.
Yeah, so we're getting 9 miles an hour winds here. This has got, like, the rain has got it. You can't see anything because of the rain.
So if your winds have completely calmed down, there's probably some sort of rotation there. I think it went out. I think it went off air. I think it got knocked out.
Yeah, something must have happened because I'm negative 230 degrees. So,
well, I hope everything's not frozen up there. That's crazy. Yeah, I think that camera may have gotten knocked out up there. That's the one in Truman, by the way, that we're looking at. Is fire test camera.
So the camera is still going. We still have
still
camera
going.
feed.
Is it the sensor though? Did the sensor get knocked out?
Yeah.
Okay. Things look it's calmed down. That was very quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what we've been referencing is to these storms. They're going to come on you quick, and they're going to come on you powerful. And if you are not in your tornado safe spot, you do not have time to go and wait until you hear tornado sirens. You don't have time to wait until you see wind outside and then go take your precautions. Folks, downstream of this, Bay, Lake City, Caraway, we are warning you now to get in your tornado safe spot. Even if this is not a tornado on the ground, this is still capable of producing severe damage, as well as what you saw on the camera, 80+ mile per hour winds.
Yep. That's insane. That was absolutely crazy, man. And like I said, this situation here where you're not only adding on the tornadoes right here. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was able to get that over to the National Weather Service. They're updating this to a catastrophic severe thunderstorm with 80 miles an hour wind. So, this is rain wrap, so we can't hardly see much going on the camera.
There it is. There it is. So I'm going to read you guys the newest information here. This is from National Weather Service in Memphis. And this is why they upgraded this area to a level 4 moderate risk earlier on here. Okay, so a severe thunderstorm remains in effect until 1:30 this afternoon for Greene, Northwestern Lee, Craighead, St. Francis, Poinsett, Western Mississippi, Crittenden, West Clay, Cross, and Southwestern Dunklin counties. Severe thunderstorms were located along the line extending from Okean, to near Caraway to near New Home, moving northeast at 80 miles per hour. These are destructive storms for Truman, 90 mile per hour winds and $half size hail, folks. So you are in a life-threatening situation at this time. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be heavily damaged or destroyed. Homes and businesses will have substantial roof and window damage. Expect extensive tree damage and power outages here. Expect the power outage number is going to start climbing here just a little bit. This is going to go for our folks in Three Forks, the Painway area, Stonewall, Newcastle, Success. That's also towards Lake Poinsett State Park, the Hawkins area, Lake Creek State Park, and also Julius. To repeat, these are destructive storms for Truman. This is producing 90 mile per hour winds now. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, so this is a very dangerous situation, but we're getting light flickers here at the office. We have generator backup. We have backup internet here. But I don't want to take away from the seriousness of this, but if you look at the camera in the bottom right corner, I don't know where that boat came from. So there's a boat in the road down there. So, but anyway, the National Weather Service in Memphis is going to continue several tornado warnings, a slew of tornado warnings and thunderstorm warnings. So these have been over an inch in hail. 70 miles an hour winds, gusting up to 90 miles an hour. So this is a very dangerous situation.
Hey, Dustin, can you hear me? He went off air. I think his power may have gotten knocked out.
Yeah, so we've been having we keep losing our power here.
Yeah, I think his power got knocked out.
So
All right.
I've lost power here, Cameron.
Okay. All right. Yep, there it is. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, yeah. Oh boy. Oh man, this tells you your story up here in Northeast Arkansas. We got two guys literally that are in Northeast Arkansas. Dustin literally just lost power, and John lost power. He's got backup generator power at this time here. So I'm gonna go ahead until Dustin comes back. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of take him off. John, you still with me?
Hey, Cameron, can you still hear me?
Yep, loud and clear. Can you hear us? Can you hear me? John, we can still hear you. Hang on, let me get in Discord real quick. Hang on.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
John.
there must be a delay. I'm having some issues with some audio equipment here.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so we're having some issues here. We're trying to. Okay, so we're on generator and our internet is back up on the backup internet services. Give me just a second. Let me go check check on something.
Okay, knock yourself out. Yes, sir. So, like I said before, those things, and I will stress this, by the way. If there's any urgency and what you need to do up here in Northeastern Arkansas, we literally just lost Dustin to a power outage, and now you have John with power outage issues up there, and they're both in the Truman area, both up there in Northeastern Arkansas. That should be more of a reason for you to be like, hey, you need to seek shelter, and you need to get to a safe spot immediately at this point here, guys. Okay, so to repeat, we have a destructive tag up here in Northeastern Arkansas. If you're just now tuning in, John, are you good to go? Can you hear us? I'm not sure if you can hear me or not. So, John, you might need to back out of Discord, then come back in. Let me make sure. Let me get in contact with him real quick.
Yes, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay. So, Dustin, by the way, for those wondering, Dustin is fine. He just let me know power's going in and out in Truman, and there's no sound on his end. So you guys may need to back out of the chat, and then you may need to come back into the chat. Unless you can hear. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, you got me now? Okay, well,
Yep.
You don't have to do it then. You're good if you can hear me. So,
Yes.
Okay, all right, we're good. Sorry about that, folks. Like I said, I know there's a, we're still covering these tornado warnings up here, but we got two folks up here, John and Dustin. They were both up here in the Truman area trying to make sure that they're okay at this current time here. So, just kind of more of an urgency, folks. My folks up here in Northeastern Arkansas, you need to take shelter immediately here. This is 90-mile-per-hour winds. You guys saw it live on air on the fire text camera. Take your tornado precautions immediately here. I'm going to put this, moving to the northeast. I'm going to do this. There we go. Moving to the northeast at 80 miles per hour here, folks. Okay? Martree, Paragould, Leachville, Marion, West Memphis, down towards Osceola, the Godstone area, and Blytheville. Take your tornado precautions now. Get away from windows, put as many walls to you and the outside as possible, and get to the lowest level and most interior part of your home immediately. To repeat, 90-mile-per-hour winds with these storms here. These storms are not wasting any time with this. Take your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows. Put as many walls between yourself and the outside as possible, and get to the lowest level of your home immediately here. So on our breaking weather alert system over there, we have 1, 2, 3 tornado warnings. Two of them are severe thunderstorm warnings with paused and destructive tags. And then we also have the flood warnings that's just running off the screen right now. So if you know any one of these areas, make sure that they're taking their tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows, put as many walls to you and the outside as possible, and get to that lowest level of your home immediately at this point. John, I know I'm working on getting you back in communication. Okay, he's going to be back. So he's working on getting stuff set up here. He's running off generator power at his place. So right now, just kind of continue to monitoring the situation here. Folks that are wondering, Dustin is good 100%. He didn't get hit by a tornado or anything like that. It's just what happened was the straight line wind damage. That is 90-mile-per-hour winds that just went over his area here. He's good. His power's going in and out, but he has no internet. So he's not going to be able to join us back on the live stream because he has no internet right down here. So he didn't get hit by a tornado or anything like that. He's good. It's just the fact that there was straight line wind damage. I was wondering how long I was going to keep these two with that line of storms moving through the Truman area. And we kept John because John has a backup generator. Dustin, he lost his power and lost internet. Nope, you're good, John. You're good. So,
yeah, so
if you want to go ahead.
Yeah. Situation here where somebody's coming here because we have a safe room here. But the issue is it's already passed. These people need to understand that this needs to be happening before the storm gets to you. You know, take shelter immediately.
Right.
We do have a tree down on the street on this camera. I don't know if you can see the camera.
I do not. Hang on. I had it pulled up for a second. Did you lost power?
Yes.
So let's see if we can
share.
Yeah, we're gonna probably have to get it back up and running.
Okay. Yeah. Let me get that sharing for you.
Okay.
Let's see.
There we go. Yep.
So there is
back. Yep. There you go. You're back up. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know if I can draw on this. I can't draw on this, but there is a tree down. So there's the boat that's in the middle of the road down here. Go past the power line, and there's a tree down in the middle of the road here.
I see it.
So I don't know how big it is yet. You know, this is very preliminary reports coming in, but there's going to be. Let me see if there's any new destructive tornado thunderstorm warnings coming for 80-mile-an-hour wind being drafted from Memphis Metro. Let's see. I was trying to check Mississippi County. They're going to cancel the tornado warning for Poinsett. They're continuing the warning for Greene, Craighead, and Mississippi as this storm moves to the east, northeast, into Tennessee.
Okay. So it looks like, just based off of what I'm seeing right now, let me draw this out because for some reason it's not wanting to. Oh, you know what, Cam? That's why it's not working. Give me a second. There we go. All right. So it looks like, just based off of what I've seen so far, let me kind of move this over to here. Let me do this real quick because I know where it is. I have to. Oh, you know what? We'll do this. There we go. That makes a lot more sense. All right. So looks like the tree. Before you get off that camera, John, looks like that tree is right over here, and I'm gonna see if I can get.
I have a delay on seeing your computer, so I can't see it. So.
Oh yeah. Hang on. There we go. All right, so looks like that tree down, because like you said, there was a boat. There's your boat right here, okay, and it looks like there's a tree down right in that area, right up here. So there's, like I said, a lot of damage up here right now. Also, one more thing I want to throw out too as well is the flooding that is ongoing over here as well. Let me see if I can get that drawn out. There's flooding that's starting ongoing over here. There's a lot of water up here, guys. So I'm stressing, folks. Take this flooding seriously. Cannot stress that enough. Take the flooding seriously at this point, guys. Okay. So John, I'm gonna move your camera down here, right next to us, for just the time being. And
I'm gonna see if I can turn it back to the south a little bit. But we're gonna be coming to. We're gonna be panning to the.
Also,
to the
looks
northeast.
like somebody's trying to join in on our call server. I think that might be Dustin. Because he lost power. He got hit. He got hit by the wind, so he lost power and internet. So that might be a situation where he might be trying to attempt to try to come back. So we're gonna see. Let me see here. Just double checking a couple things real quick. So. Okay. Yep, I hear him. Yep. So that is Dustin. So Dustin's coming back online, guys. So like I said, he didn't get hit by a tornado, folks. Okay. Like I said, there's more to severe weather than just tornadoes. It was the damage he wind threat. This is something that we've been talking about. I would say this would probably be the best case scenario for Southeast Arkansas, that this is more of a line now, that it's not severe. But the severe part of the line, unfortunately, has been for our folks up here in Northeastern Arkansas here. So I see they're now drawing out a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that has the destructive tag on it now. That is going to go, is affecting 1 million. Let me see if I got my visual right. 1,371,743 people in that area. That's going to be the population that is impacting. That is going to go for our folks in downtown Memphis at this current time here. So let me double check a couple of things. Looks like the radar may have gone offline for just a little bit. I'm going to turn off all the flood warnings at this point. So what we're going to do for just a second here is I'm going to show you guys where all the tornado warnings is right now. Yep, Dustin, what you got? What's up? Are you back? Sweet. Let me I'm bringing you back on the stream. Give me 1 second. So there you go. You're back. You're good to go. Can you get these folks a update? Because some people think that you may have gotten hit by a tornado or something.
I got hit by something. Yeah, that was wild there for a minute. That went and came in and lost power, got it back, lost internet, got it back, and it was back and forth for a good 5 minutes. And next thing you know, all of a sudden here we are, we're back doing this again. So that's why we tell people to, take your tornado precautions. That's why we tell people to, don't go outside and look at the weather. That thing was on me in a hurry. And then as soon as you've seen on the camera there, 80 plus mile per hour winds, and then literally was done in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, so we want to continue to let the folks upstream know that this is coming into Caraway, Etowah, Black Oak, Monette, and Manila. So this has got some significant wind coming into it. We do have we do have some minor damage in Truman. Also coming in some other reports. So this should be coming in, Etowah. If you're in the Etowah, Victoria, Dale, Manila, Caraway area, this is coming, this has got some powerful wind to it.
Yep. So let me do something real quickly here. So I've got that power outage scale up there, getting information every 5 seconds. So it's going to be updating here in just a little bit here. So just kind of let me double check a couple things here, making sure that's the actual correct number. Yes, it is. That number is going to jump rather significantly coming up here in just a little while. And, I'm getting concerned, especially my folks in the Poinsett County, especially Mississippi County folks. Anyone in these areas, I drew a track out. You need to be taking your tornado precautions here. This is not a situation where, you're going to see this big old supercell, this monster wedge that you see on like 90% of the storm chasers and stuff like that. You're not going to see that. What you're going to see is a wall of rain and a wall of wind and rain coming your way, and you're not going to be able to see a tornado or anything like that here. I want to stress that.
And Cameron,
right
I want to add to that and echo something if I can.
Go ahead.
Is my wife was texting some of her people that she goes to, and my daughter goes to school with. That was up there. They were, kind of unaware, some of the severity of how strong these storms were coming through. They have hunkered down and stayed out of the way in areas in Northeast Arkansas. Folks, share this live stream. Tag people in it. It's not a hype. It's not a scare tactic. It's not trying to get anybody to, get, on anxiety or anything like that. It's just to show them that, hey, I care about you and these winds are coming your way. And this is something that you're not going to be able to be out and see. And if people are out and about traveling, or they're, going, outside doing work and they don't know about it until it comes on them, folks, let them know now as much as you can downstream if you know anybody in these areas.
Yeah, that's a good point, Dustin. So this is going to be coming into Manila, Dale, and even coming into Burdett and Gosnell and Blytheville before it comes into the Missouri, Tennessee area. So those, what Dustin was talking about coming downstream up to this thing. So this is all the way from Lake City to Lepanto. It's going to be Monette to Kaiser, Leachfield to Victoria, Hornersville, Missouri to Burdett. This is going to be coming into Gosnell and Blytheville. We've had sustained winds of 50 miles an hour. We have gusts up to 90 miles an hour. So this is a very dangerous situation.
Goodness gracious almighty, guys. And you could take a look at a couple things yourself. First and foremost, you have this line of storms that pretty much stretches from eastern Arkansas all the way down to southeastern Arkansas. I'm not annoying anybody down there in South Arkansas, but all the tornado warnings there. As a matter of fact, you're even seeing some cells starting to go up in West Tennessee now. That is now tour warned over here as well. So if you folks. We cover the entire state of Arkansas, all 75 counties, believe it or not. But if you have family members in West Tennessee or anywhere on the Missouri Boot Hill, let them know too. Don't let them get caught off guard because, they're not in Arkansas, I'm not worried about it. Share this live stream because it's not only just for us here in Arkansas, but those folks over there in Tennessee as well. Give those folks a heads up. I know a great group over there, Tennessee Valley Weather, if I got their name right. They do an amazing job covering over there. Those folks over there in Western Tennessee, give those folks a heads up. Tell them what's going on. These are destructive storms coming out from Northeastern Arkansas going into Western Tennessee and the Missouri Boot Hill. Let them know what's going on. Anyone that's along the Mississippi River, along the Arkansas-Tennessee border, give them a heads up. Tell them what's going on. Tell them the situation. Don't say anything. Don't be like, I'm not going to say anything to them because it's not a tornado. Like, folks, there's more than severe weather than just tornadoes. That's just how it is. These are destructive storms, 90-mile-per-hour winds. If that's equivalent, by the way, if you didn't know this, that's equivalent to a tornado-like speed. At the end of the day, damaging winds and tornadoes are both wind. It's just one's coming at you in a straight line, the other's rotating. They're both wind at the end of the day. So give those folks a heads up there in Northeastern Arkansas. We're fully aware severe thunderstorm warnings are not as popular as a tornado warning, but give them a heads up. Tell them what's going on. Tell them that these are destructive winds that are moving through this area here, capable of producing 90-mile-per-hour winds plus. Now, folks up there in West Memphis, up towards the Blytheville area at this current time here. So I was going to do something
Cameron,
I forgot. Yeah, go ahead, John.
Yeah. So why you was wanting to do that? So it looks like the biggest bowl could be south of us, going into Joyner, Marion, and Hughes. So it looks like the biggest part of where the tornado warning is. I don't see that bow as big as it was.
That's some good news there. That means that things are kind of broadening out. Your wind breadth is going to start to kind of is attempting to try to weaken. The wind that's trying to weaken up here. I wonder about your power outages here because I see your power outage number is still at 122,000 across the state. I wonder how much that's going to increase over the next couple of minutes here, especially as we get more reports out of Northeastern Arkansas. Because I know what this went through. Dustin, Dustin and John, you guys may have gotten lucky with the power outages here. Sorry, I was popping my back.
It looks like in Poinsett County, just 139 people without power in Poinsett County. So I think just some flicker in the power, good to go here in Truman now. So
that's good.
Looks like there may be some power outages going on in Craighead County, but that could be from the previous storm that came a couple of days ago, where it's going to be days before some people get power.
Yeah, that's
the other thing too. Is we're talking about that as emergency, just like it is on ice and snow and so that emergency personnel can get out there.
Tornado warning coming here for Monticello.
Yeah. And there's also a tornado apostle. There's also another. Go ahead. You're good. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying Drew County got a tornado warning coming out for Monticello.
Okay. But that's the other thing. If emergency personnel can't get out there to you, hey folks, things like that. So be mindful of these things. It's the severe warnings. Like I said, you may be, like I said, with out power right now. Hey, these people are trying to get out there and get to you and restore power and do everything as fast as they can. They are only human beings and can only do so much, folks. Just be mindful of the fact that, like I said, if it's flooded areas, they're trying to get out there to you. But like I said, just be mindful that they are people doing the job, trying to get everything restored back to as much normalcy as possible.
Yep. So, John, you said there was a tornado warning coming for Monticello down there in Drew County?
Yes. I don't think it's issued yet, but looks like they're trying to draw something up on it now. So.
Okay. So that's going to be down here. That's going to be down here in southeastern Arkansas. So it's probably going to go for Drew, and Deshay counties here. So we're getting there. We're almost done. I promise you, we're almost done with this event here. We just gotta.
I heard that last night.
I know, but we're almost done here, guys. Okay, we're gonna get past this. I promise you. So anyone in these areas, make sure that you're taking your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows. Put as many walls to yourself and the outside as possible, and get to the lowest level of your home immediately at this time here, guys. Okay, so let me.
See, that's something else.
Yeah, go ahead, Dustin.
No, and that's something else. Like, Heidi messaged me and just asked how we were doing and how everything else is, doing
There's
that
your
and
tornado
everything.
warning.
Is that, it doesn't take but 2 seconds for us to, reach out and say, hey, how are you doing? Is tornadoes headed your way? Share this live stream and let people know downstream. Hey, until this gets out of the state of Arkansas and into Western Tennessee, let people know that these things are headed their way.
Yep. Exactly. I cannot stress that enough here. So what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna you realize I'm working with 2 keyboards here. I'm gonna do this. Now it's gonna be on 2 over here. And what I'm gonna do is we got the tornado warning down there in Southeast Arkansas. I'm going to just kind of put this one up here. That way we can kind of keep an eye on the storms up there in Northeastern Arkansas at this current time here while we talk about the storms down here in Southeastern Arkansas. So my folks down here in Drew County and Deshay County, that's going to be the Monticello, the Tilla area, Reed, Winchester, and the Watson area. Make sure that you take your tornado precautions immediately. Get away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and get to the lowest level of your home immediately at this current time here, guys. Just going to have to keep an eye on this. Like I said before, this is something that we're monitoring along the line of storms itself. They're going to have what we call this QLCS embedded tornadoes along the line, something that we're going to have to monitor over the next hour or so. But folks, down here in Southeastern Arkansas, you need to be taking your tornado precautions immediately. My folks in Monticello, Winchester, McGee, and those areas here. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, so I think these tornado warnings in northern Mississippi County will be allowed to expire here directly if they don't get them. Okay, so that was in Tennessee. So they're canceling some downstream tornado warnings, but okay, they've canceled thunderstorm warning. There's just a lot of chat going on. I'm trying to catch up here. Looks like there's some power poles down in Truman. Also, looks like the biggest part of this bow, as you will, has moved over to the river now. So those in Northeast Arkansas, we still have flooding issues. This is a big concern. Ponding on the roadways, you can't see it. Don't try to drive through low areas where there's water crossing the roads. We don't have to keep telling you that, but this is something that's going on now. It's just the area is saturated, so any of these winds that's coming is going to blow these trees over real easy. But they're going to drop the severe thunderstorm warnings that's going on in northeast Arkansas, but they did issue a tornado warning for Lincoln, Drew, and Deshay. That's Lincoln, Drew, and Deshay County. They're in our southern region. Gotcha.
Okay, so yeah, as far as Southeastern Lincoln, Deshay, and Drew counties down here. So, if one of y'all could take over for just, actually, I don't even need that. I'm drawing this map out. What I'm trying to ask is, can one of my guys, I'm sending a map over. It's just kind of an updated version of the all clear versus the ongoing severe weather risk. If one of y'all can get this on the page, that'd be great, because like I said, we got a lot of folks that are just watching this right now that anxiety's through the roof and everything like that. I completely get it. We're going to try to make this as like I said, I did not mean to do that. Give me 1 second here. Trying to ease some minds out there, if that makes sense. That's what I was trying to say. So I'm gonna do this. Let me make sure that lines up to where things is right now.
Hey, Cameron, is that gonna be best from Little Rock? I would assume, not Jackson, right? So
yeah, they did it from Little
Jackson.
Rock. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Jackson's gonna be your best shot.
Oh, Jackson will be the best.
Yeah. Or Little. Wait, which one are you using, Dustin? Because I'm using Jackson down here.
Well, Little Rock issued. I thought he was asking who issued the Little Rock issued the warning. That's who I was looking at earlier. But I can switch over to Jackson real quick.
No, I was just trying to figure out who had the best radar for that area. Once again, we're getting outside.
Yeah, it's gonna be 100. Yeah, it's gonna be. You may get a shot down there with Little Rock. Normally, when it's down here in far southeast Arkansas, I use Jackson. Because Jackson's going to give you the most clear shot that you're probably going to be able to get down here, because I heard that they had a radar going down here, then they put it behind a paywall. So we right now,
So
we
that's
don't,
going from
yeah.
Monticello. So folks, people in Monticello moving towards McGee and Dumas area need to take your tornado precautions, as this is moving north and east from, just passing through. Monticello is experiencing the brunt of this storm as it's going through right now in our southeastern parts down here in Drew and Deshay County.
Yep. So give me just 1 second, guys. I'm getting this drawn out for us here, and this is going to be it right here. So give me just 1 second. And like I said, I love technology, because Dustin, John, y'all remember back in the day where you had those low-end computers and you couldn't do all this, and you couldn't have Photoshop. Yeah,
they wasn't low end then.
Right, it wasn't low end then, but it's low end now. So that you couldn't, have Photoshop up and try to do a stream at the same time. Now you can. So let me do this. All right, I've got that, and then we've got the significant flooding threat that we're going to talk about, but it's an quote unquote all clear back out to the west here. But I want to stress that the loud storms are still going to continue here. I'm actually going to put that in here. Loud storms are going to continue, and all clear from this. Let me hang on. Let me reword this real fast, because somebody's gonna try to find any kind of reason to attack us. This right now still all clear from the tornado threat. Okay, all clear. Tornado risk, loud storm, significant flooding threat, and then the ongoing severe risk in eastern and southeastern Arkansas. So I'm gonna get this over to our upper staff real quick. If one of y'all could do me a favor and get this on the page, that would be awesome. Let me double check a couple things real quick. So this is going to be right here. Okay. So, all right. So there we go. So that's what we got. That's going to be it right there. So other than that, folks that are in this area down here in Southeast Arkansas, you need to be taking your tornado precautions. Heidi, I don't know who's all in here right now. I think Heidi, if you can get that on the page, that'll be awesome. Pretty much, I would say 80% of the state is in a pretty good area in terms of the tornado threat. The flooding threat is definitely going to be there, and the loud storms are going to continue throughout much of your Saturday. Things should start to clear out late this evening and into tonight in terms of the rainfall and everything like that. But right now, your flooding threat is still rather significant across the area here. So right now,
yeah. So you started out shortly after 12. I don't know how long this stream's been going.
About an hour.
About an hour. So you started out at around an hour ago with 104,000 people. Now we have 122,000 people without power.
Goodness. So and I will say this too, because like I said before, folks, especially with Entergy and whoever is in your electrical company, I want to make this crystal clear. They cannot get out in rain. They cannot get out in lightning. I'm telling you that right now, because they can't fit your power if it's pouring down raining and lightning, because it's a safety hazard to them. I want to make that clear before you get mad and you start jumping on them and everything like that. Don't get upset with them. They have to wait. They have to physically wait until all of this clears out and it's safe for them to get up there and fix the power before they can turn your power back on. There are certain.
So Cameron, they're going to continue that tornado warning for Lincoln, Drew, and Deshay. That tornado warning continues. It's radar indicated, less than inch size hail. Let's see here. This is going to be Florence, Winchester. Let's see. It's going to be south of Dumas, north of McGee. So it's going to be tracking northeast. Let me see what the speed is on this. At 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And something else, Cameron.
Yeah, go ahead.
It
Yeah,
is.
We have a new tornado warning for Green, Craighead, and Mississippi. Let me see what it says. Oh, those are canceled. I'm sorry. My apologies. They
Yeah.
were going to drop those tornado warnings for Green, Craighead, and Mississippi.
Okay. All right. So
the only tornado warning right now in Arkansas would be the one that's in Lincoln, Drew, and Deshae. That's going to be near the Monticello area. It's actually past the Monticello point at this point, across the was it Highway 425?
yeah, 425 down there. Let me see here. All right, give me just 1 second here. I'm just kind of I'm catching up with all my stuff over here because I've got a lot of people kind of messaging me and everything like that. So give me just a bit, guys. Let me see here. I think that's pretty much it for right now. Okay, so like I said, I'm just catching up because I see there's tornado warning down here in Southeast Arkansas, and then like I said, I had a lot of people, a lot of emergency management kind of contact me about the flooding threat. It is, I mean, the news that I'm hearing right now for the flooding threat is absolutely crazy. There's been roadways that have been washed out. You know, there's been water rescues. There was water rescues down there in Texarkana last night. You know, they're urging people, like the emergency management is urging people to a T. If you don't have to get out, don't get out. Not everything is go, guys. Okay? It will not kill you to be at home for one day. I promise you. We have the same problem with snow.
We have to get reports in.
Yeah.
Continuing to get reports in of damage in the Poinsett County. This would be in Harrisburg. The Harrisburg Fire Department is reporting trees and power lines down. They are actually currently doing a swift water rescue as of 10 minutes ago or so. So, you know, this is a tornado warning coming for Ethel. Is that Arkansas County? Arkansas County.
I have. That's going to be, Arkansas, Monroe. Yeah.
Okay, so a tornado warning be coming for that here momentarily.
Yeah, there it is. It's a very small tornado warning, but there it is. It's St. Charles. You know what's funny? Jamie is near that area. She's near the Amara area today. That's funny. She has a tornado warning right next to her here, guys. So I'm gonna mute myself for just a second. I'm gonna call her. Can one of you guys kind of talk about this tornado warning right now?
Yeah, so the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for southwestern Monroe County and eastern Arkansas, east central Arkansas County, let's say until 2:15 p.m. This storm is capable of producing a tornado. It was located near St. Charles, or 9 miles northwest of White River National Wildlife Refuge. It's moving northeast at 50 miles an hour. So those people of St. Charles, Ethel, needs to take their tornado precautions at this time. Take cover, move inside to a basement or interior room, lowest level floor, sturdy building. Avoid your windows. If you're outside, get inside. This is going to be, once again, for Arkansas and Monroe County here in Arkansas.
Yeah, it's right down there on, as it looks like it's moving northeast, going to cross over Highway 1 there as it's continuing to move north and east. So anybody traveling on Highway 1 needs to stop and either find a substantial shelter, or if you have not made it, east of DeWitt, stop and go ahead and wait until this storm passes through. Let this continue to move off to the north and east and see if they, because as earlier we were talking about those 70-mile-per-hour winds, this has got estimated up to 60, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts with this, and close to 3/4 inch in diameter hail reported with this storm.
Yeah, so the National Weather Service in Memphis is telling everybody that's a partner, all caps, need to be shouting from the rooftops that anybody in Memphis Metro needs to take shelter. So any of our friends that are living over that area, traveling to and from work on the weekend or whatever the situation may be, those in the Memphis Metro needs to take shelter immediately.
Erica, I don't know if you're in this in our call. You might want to give Kelsey a heads up, because she stays over there in the Memphis area. You might want to give her a heads up if you're listening right now. If not, I can text it to you. But she has a family member that lives over there in the Memphis area. So, folks, they are stressing. If you are in Memphis right now, you need to get to shelter immediately at this current time here. Okay, so hang on, let me tell to get to shelter. Okay, and like I said, I want you guys to do the exact same thing that I'm doing. I'm not trying to interrupt anything. It's just, we have a lot of family and friends in the path of these storms here. I want you guys to do the exact same thing that we are doing right now, is telling them what's going on, getting them to shelter. Don't wait till the last possible second to be like, hey, there's a tornado warning, you need to get there. Tell them ahead of time. You hear their city called out, like Memphis, for example. You hear their city, you tell them. Don't wait till the last second and tell them. You tell them immediately. That way they know what's going on here. So right now, just kind of keeping an eye on a couple of things here. We got 2 tornado warnings. One is going to go until 2:15, and the other one up here I think is going to be 2:15 as well. What I'm going to do, and I'm going to make our lives a lot easier here, because we're almost, Arkansas, we are almost done. We're almost there. We got this line that we've got to get pushed through the state, and then we are completely done with severe weather here. So I didn't mean to do that. I'm going to do this. Make this
all right, so Memphis has got embedded tornadoes with 70-mile-an-hour winds, considerable damage for flooding. Let's see. Yeah, so, just once again, Memphis Metro, anyone in that area just needs to take shelter immediately. We're preaching get to the lowest level of your home, but also we want to make sure that there's no water in your home.
Right.
So, it's kind of one of those things.
So in that situation, John, what you do is you get to the highest point. So someone taught me this. So if you're under a flash warning and a tornado warning at the same time, you want to get to higher ground, obviously. But when you get to that higher ground, you want to get into a sturdy shelter, and you want to get to the lowest part of that sturdy shelter, at the highest ground. If that makes sense.
We have a new rotation near Florence with the first tornado warning. It's going to be in central Drew County.
Central Drew County, yeah. So forgive me if I'm yawning, by the way, guys. It's been last couple of days have been pretty long, running off.
You said Monticello?
Yeah, it's Monticello. That's down in Drew County. Yep. So that's going to go to 2:15.
Yep. So they're going to be drawing that up here. I don't know if they're going to continue that or if they're going to draw a new one. Actually, I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah, Ethos in Arkansas County. Yeah, Thank you, Donna. I was wondering about that. I knew that was in that area here. So it's going to be right here in the Arkansas County area. So what we've done pretty much is we've drawn this out to where now there's a line of storms down here far southeastern Arkansas. We are going to be putting this to bed before 3 p.m. this afternoon, Arkansas. I want to make this crystal clear. Before 3 p.m., we're going to be putting this, actually not even 3 p.m. now, a little after 2 o'clock. It's going to be across the Mississippi River after 2 o'clock this afternoon here. So what's going to happen is once this line passes through, your tornado watchers are going to start to drop off and everything like that here, guys. Okay, so anyone in these areas, I want to stress right now, make sure that you're taking your tornado precautions, meaning like get away from windows, put as many walls to yourself and the outside as possible, get to that lowest center part of your home immediately at this current time here, guys. Okay, so
would you notice something else, Cameron?
Yep, go ahead.
These storms that went from 65 to 70 mile per hour movers down to 35 to 40 mile per hour movers. Mm-hmm. So this line is slowed up and is, moving out of the state, but it is not, getting out in any kind of hurry down there for the folks in southeastern Arkansas, because this area has not been, messed with like we talked about last night. This is, an area that is, just now for the first time really seeing any part of the severe weather that we've, had to, deal with. And we told y'all last night that this is definitely going to be coming and affecting the southeastern Arkansas area. And, now here it is moving through southeast Arkansas before it moves out of the state.
Yep. So, let me see here. Just double checking a couple of things here. So, let me see here. John, have you heard anything? I'm looking at the media reports right now. Oh man, there's water rescues in Shannon Hills. Let's see. That was from earlier on. Just kind of double checking everything right now. There was a tree down up there in North Little Rock. So just looking at everything right now here, water. That's all I've been seeing. In the media reports right now is just there's just so much water right now, so much rain across the state. We went from drought to deluge, and within a month's time. Because remember, by this time early last month, we were dealing with wildfires, we were dealing with the drought conditions and all that. Now we're dealing with significant flash flooding. So you went from one extreme to the other here, so guys. So right now, like I said before, just looking at a couple of things here. Let me see here.
All right, so there is rescues being conducted currently in West Memphis, water rescues in West Memphis. This is going to be on the Arkansas side of the river.
Let me see real quickly here. Okay. Can you repeat that, John? I'm sorry. I was looking at all the reports that we were getting in.
So the water rescue is going on in West Memphis. Getting reports of the water rescue in West Memphis.
Wow.
They're canceling the thunderstorm warning, the thunderstorm for St. Francis and Lee County.
And that's going to continue to be the situation, guys. As you know, the tornado warnings will start to drop off eventually, but the flash flooding is going to continue to be a problem for us here. It looks like they just extended the severe thunderstorm warning tornado possible now. Let's see here. It's going to go for Crittenden, let's see, Lee, Phillips, and St. Francis County here. It's going to be impacting 97,000 people. Tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and a 1-inch hail with that storm. Tornado warning down in Arkansas, Monroe. That is radar indicated. And then the rest of them, tornado warning for Mississippi County, and then tornado warning for Deshay County down there, Deshay, Drew, and Lincoln County. That's going to go until 2:15 this afternoon here. So pretty much, at this point, what we can do is we can kind of take a look. I'm going to look at the one up here. Let's start up here first, up here in Arkansas County here. So what I'm going to do is this Northeast Arkansas is pretty much done, and all those storms have cleared the Mississippi River. We are going to kind of, actually, you know what, never mind. I'm not going to do that because I forgot I have John in here. So give me a second.
Don't forget about him. That's.
I forgot for a second. I know it has.
So what we're looking at now on the camera should be coming up here. If you're still on the camera.
Yep. Yes,
so this is going to be the interstate that's going to be 55. This is in Marion. This is looking southbound. But what I'm seeing is as people are getting on the interstate, they're having to go through this water. So you can actually see the water, splashing. As they drive through it, where it's significantly deep, as they're getting on the interstates.
Hey, John, we can't see your camera because it's showing the radar right now.
Well, what's the problem?
Well, I have no idea.
Let me see if I can get that switched over here.
Okay. Yeah, because there it is. Yeah, it was showing. It's showing the radar. So, and also to add on to that, we have preached so many times about staying home, staying away from the flooded water, stuff like that. I know sometimes things can't be helped because there's emergencies that happen and everything. Folks, why are people so hard-headed? I don't get it. I don't understand in this situation, folks. This is about as dangerous as it can get, guys. Okay, you've got so many people that are traveling right now, going through those flooded roadways, stuff like that. And like I said, I understand everybody's situation is different. You got to get somewhere. You got emergencies and stuff like that. You got important stuff to do. Sometimes you got to postpone stuff, okay? You cannot be going through water that is that deep. It is going to lead to very dangerous situations, guys. Like I said, not knocking our truckers, because our truckers, they have to do it rain, snow, sleet, or shine. But folks, if you don't have to be out, like look at there, look at that right side of that other screen, guys. That is some deep water over there, and folks are just driving in it like nobody's business, guys. Okay.
Well, that's the thing is once your tires. If your tires come off the ground just slightly, you lose control of that vehicle. There is no regaining control back of that vehicle once you've left, especially on water. You will hydroplane very quickly, even in just a little bit of water. So that's why you need to stay off the roadways and let emergency personnel go and do their job. And then, like I said, after this weekend, like I said, things start settling back down. We know people have to go back to work on Monday. We know things happen, but don't get out just to get out and see what's going on.
Yeah, and I'm gonna put a track here. You know what? I'm gonna do this because this is gonna make things a lot easier on all of us. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna zoom this out. Okay, looks like they're going severe thunderstorm warning to a pause with that storm here, so they're probably gonna let this tornado warning go at 2:15 because the rotation just doesn't look as strong as it once did. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna put a track for both of these cells because this is now in Southeast Arkansas. This is once we're done with Southeast Arkansas, we're done.
Yeah, so they're going to continue that tornado
ballgame.
warning for Lincoln, Drew, and Deshay. So
Okay.
that's going to be at 1:56. The tornado warning remains in effect until 2:15.
Okay, so they're gonna keep that one here. The rotation on that storm doesn't look as impressive as it once did, but I see why they're keeping that tornado warning there until 2:15. So obviously, what I have done
Looks like they canceled the other one.
They canceled.
Yeah.
So they canceled the other one.
Yeah.
They canceled the tornado warning in Mississippi County.
Okay, Mississippi County. Okay, so that one's gone up there in Mississippi County. So because that storm has moved into West Tennessee.
Yeah.
So that one is moving into West Tennessee. That's going to be their issue over there, and they're having flooding problems just like us here in Arkansas. And then what I'm gonna do here is I've got a track now for these storms over here in Southeast Arkansas. Now I want to kind of point your attention out here towards the west, not towards the west, towards the east. You notice how these cells are starting to bubble up across Mississippi and Alabama. This is where I think your best tornado threat is going to start to materialize out here later on.
Canceling the Monroe County tornado warning.
Okay, Monroe County tornado warning has been canceled. Got it. So these storms are going to move to the north as a response of this line that's going to be pushing in. So I think your best tornado threat, especially this afternoon, is going to start to develop for our folks out here in Mississippi. So obviously, if you know anyone in Mississippi, give them a heads up. Tell them about the situations we've been having here in Arkansas, and we will go from there. So that tornado warning up
We may
here,
get to see an accident live here on the weather.
I pray
like
not.
these people. Yeah. So this is
Man.
getting a little pile up down there.
And I don't want to talk about it too much because I know we have an ongoing tornado warning down here for our folks in Deshay County, and I don't want to take service away from them. Which, matter of fact, I will do this, and I will pull up I thought I had the rotation tool on here. Oh, apparently not. Apparently I don't. Okay, hang on. You go here. Okay, well, anyways, all right, so there we go. I'll put the rotation tracker back up, and we're going to do this because I don't want to take anything away from this tornado warning here, but folks, I want y'all to pay attention to that RDOT camera that is on just to the right of John. You got so many folks that are speeding through there, that are just carrying on about and stuff like that, and I get it. I 100% get it. You have situations where you have
Arkansas and Monroe County has been canceled.
Okay, Arkansas Monroe's been canceled.
Yes.
Okay, so that one's gone. The one in the Lincoln, Deshay, and Drew County is still there, correct?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna keep the track up on that one here because I knew I had my rotation tool somewhere over here. I was like, where is it? I forgot I had set it up for 2 because we had that situation last night up there in Northeastern Arkansas. But folks, if you have to get out today, and I understand it's a Saturday, you got to get out, got to go. We live in a society that is, nobody likes being at home anymore. Everybody likes to be, they got to go somewhere. If you got to get out, use extreme caution on those roadways, guys. Don't go through it at 100 miles per hour. Please use extreme caution. The truckers, I'm not knocking the truckers, guys, okay? They have to be out there no matter what. Rain, snow, sleet, shine, they have to be out there. That's the bottom line with them. But in terms of everybody else that don't have to be out there, there's no reason to be out there today, guys, okay? Significant flooding. This is just a bad situation here. John, if you want to kind of tell us where this RDOT camera that you're looking at right now is at this point.
Yeah, so this one, let me get that pulled back up on my. Okay, so this RDOT camera that we're looking at is looking southbound on Interstate 55. I'm sorry, yeah, 55. This is going to be at the Marion, Arkansas interchange. This is going to be looking toward West Memphis.
Goodness.
Hey, Cameron. Says there
Yeah,
in Pine Bluff, there in Jefferson County, it says that several roads are flooded in Pine Bluff with over a foot deep in places.
Yep.
Oh my goodness gracious,
Yeah,
guys.
we're getting a lot of
That's
reports of
crazy.
over a foot of water in areas.
Yeah. And this is, I'm not like I said, I'm not trying to take any kind of due diligence away from my folks in Lincoln, Deshay, and Drew counties on that tornado warning right now. We've got the track up, by the way,
Manchester.
so we've got that in place. But I mean, folks, the flooding situation is there. And
Oh, there he goes.
somebody's
You seen it here live on this channel. That car. I wonder if I can go back and watch it again. I got the recording of that.
Oh my goodness,
This
what
is
happened?
what people needs to understand how dangerous this is.
What happened? I didn't see it. I looked down for 1 second.
Yeah. So he spun out. He lost control, and he about screwed up big time. But he had to back up and reposition himself because he lost control.
Goodness gracious, guys, come on! Like I said, I'm not gonna sit here, get mad at every single person that's got to be out because every situation is different. Some folks they got to be out. They got to go somewhere. It's an emergency and stuff like that. But if you have to be out, folks, take it easy on those roadways. Wherever you gotta go, I got taught this a long time ago. Wherever you're going, it is still going to be there by the time you get there. No matter if you get there 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, or so later. Okay, I understand folks still got to go to work. Every situation is different. But if you're trying to go out just to lollygag around, you don't need to be outside, guys. You don't need to be traveling today. This is a very serious flooding situation. I wish and I pray that there was something that we could do to make folks understand about this flooding threat, just like it is with tornadoes. Because if this was tornadoes, you wouldn't have a soul out there right now. You would have everybody in the house, you'd have everybody in shelter and everything like that. But for flooding, it's the most ignored severe weather product on the planet, and I don't understand why. I don't get it.
So what we're seeing here is this is going to be near the Jericho exit. This is going to be looking eastbound. So this is an accident. We don't know what happened here. I'm not speculating, but as much rain as we had, the ponding on the roadway can be just as catastrophic as ice, right? So when you get into those areas where you have ponding on the road and you're doing 65 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour, and then you hit that waterway, you can lose control of your vehicle rapidly.
Oh man! All you really could do at this point is pray for these folks. The ones they have to be out. The truckers, the emergency management, and another thing too. Then I'll get off my soapbox about this because we're still monitoring that tornado warning down there in Southeast Arkansas. We're going to continue to kind of keep an eye, and there's your track, and it's ready to go. And those are the cities that are going to be impacted by this, as long as the tornado warning still remains in effect. It's not really, and there's gonna be. I'm not even reading the comments. The comments are no longer. I don't even have the comments pulled up anymore. But there's gonna be someone that's gonna be thinking that we're getting irritated, stuff like that. Folks, we're not. We just wish that everybody, gets anxiety about tornadoes, and for the right reasons. Everybody takes tornadoes so seriously, and to the point that if you say that word, it's like a trigger mechanism. They're getting a shelter, they're being proactive with it and everything like that. But when it comes to flooding, it's like nobody cares about it. And there's some people that do, don't get me wrong, and there's some people that can't help it. Like your truckers, your essential workers, the ones that still got to go to work, rain, snow, sleet, or shine. They still got to go out there. But, you also have folks out there that, every time you have to be out there for no reason. Like, you're just out there just to be out there today. Today's a really good day to, be in a situation where you can be in a house, you can relax, watch a movie or something like that. Temperatures are really cool across the state for our folks in eastern and southeast Arkansas. But if you don't have to be out, don't go out, folks, okay? And it's not for our sake either. I'm saying this for our emergency managers, the police officers, the fire department, those that have to be out and have to do all these water rescues and stuff like that. That's making their jobs a billion times harder. John, you can testify with me this one. I know you work for the fire department. You work for emergency management.
Yes, we have
how it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but we do have a new tornado warning coming out for Deshay County.
Okay, so they're just gonna, they're gonna extend it. So, this is
This
why
will be
we're
over
harping
to
for
the
you guys
river
again.
pretty soon. So
Yeah. So, this is why we're harboring for folks to stay at home because, the emergency management that's going to be out there, they have to be the ones to pull you out of that situation. Like, they have to be the ones to pull you out of that situation and if you get stuck or you spin out or something like that here. So, let's try to make the jobs for the emergency management easier across the state of Arkansas, okay? If it's an emergency, I get it. If you got to go somewhere, I get it. If there's something you got to go to work, like our truckers and stuff like that, our nurses, our essential workers, they still got to go out, even if it's raining, snowing, sleet, shine, or whatever. But if you don't have to be out, don't be out. Just stay at home today. Let these waters recede. Let emergency management get out there, get the job done, and go from there, guys. Okay, that's the one thing I'm harping on right now. If you don't have to be out this evening, folks, don't go out. There's no point in it, especially with all this water that we've got in place right now here. So, yeah, you can go ahead, Dustin or John. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was looking. I was just got a report on Little Rock MBA that about a tree that was down blocking a road in Bologna, and that's it. That is it's put down, and it happened to be the road that my parents live on. So that's what I was trying to figure out what was going on.
Goodness. So, yeah, that's just something that we're just gonna have to, like I said before. I think what's gonna end up happening is, So anybody know about the flashing pink area and what does that mean? That is catastrophic flooding. Yeah, it's a flash flood emergency, guys. Okay, let me do this real quick because there's a lot of people that are just assuming that Little Rock is under some sort of tornado threat or whatever. Folks, Little Rock's good. Okay, I'm gonna make this clear. Little Rock is good to go. That is a flash flood warning, catastrophic. Okay. Little Rock is good. There's no tornado. There's no pending tornado threat in Little Rock whatsoever. Okay, that is catastrophic flooding. That is flashing for a reason because it's at the highest of highs in terms of the flash flooding potential here. That's what it is. It's not a tornado. It's not anything like that. It is catastrophic flooding here, and that's going to be the problem coming up here. That's why our phones are going off. My phone just went off again. For the flooding threat because it is a dangerous situation. Don't travel. That's why it's flashing at you like that. It's getting ready to expire. That particular one is getting ready to expire at 2:15. But that's why that one is flashing at you because that is a flash flood warning, catastrophic damage here. And that was issued earlier on at 11 o'clock here. So that's just more of the reason why we're stressing, guys, about the flash flooding threat here at this point here. Okay, and it's not me attacking anybody. It's just there's no tornado in Little Rock. There's not. I promise you, there's no tornado in Little Rock or anything like that. The only thing here in Little Rock right now is the flooding. And the flooding continues to be a very big hazard across the board here, guys. Okay, so let me see here. I've got the track up on this one here. There's a tornado warning for our folks in Duma. It's not taking anything away from those folks. But I'm going to put it at about 45 miles per hour. So that's going to be for the Watson area, guys. So, the biggest thing is I want to stress right now is if you know anyone in the Watson area over here in DeShay County, take your tornado precautions. We're going to be done at 2:30. This event for Arkansas is going to come to a close at 2:30 this afternoon here. Only another 20 minutes. This is going to cross over the Mississippi River, and then we're going to be done with tornadoes, with severe weather. Flooding is going to be a problem going forward. For the next 24 to 48 hours, flooding is going to continue to be a big hazard. You can see and I'll say this too, there's some cases where you'll have a flash flood warning for a part of a county. It is so bad right now that you've got whole counties under the flash flood warning. Like, this literally looks like a flood watch more than a flood warning right now here because of how filled these counties are right now. So these two pink areas that you're seeing flashing right now is not tornadoes. It's catastrophic flooding, and that's how it's going to be at this point. Tornado threat down here in Southeastern Arkansas. As a matter of fact, we had a map that Heidi posted on the page that strictly says that the all clear for our folks over there in Western Arkansas. But right now, like I said before, we're just going to keep it out here. John had to bounce off for just a second. Hey, I was going to say, Dustin, if you need to go for a second too.
I'm getting some more coffee.
Okay, he's gonna get some more coffee. Okay, so right now, like I mentioned before, over folks over here in the Dumas area, the Watson area, I think I can finally zoom this back over to here since he had bounced off for
Something
just a
else
second
too
here.
down there
Yeah,
in
go ahead.
southeastern Arkansas, Cameron, is that health threat is starting to pop up a little bit more. So it looks like that tornado threat will probably be diminishing a little bit there in southeastern Arkansas as you see that health core starting to ramp up a little bit there in the near Dumas and just a little north of Winchester.
Yeah, so oh man, I'm going to just for a little bit. I'm curious to see how the metro looks right now, and the main roads here in metro obviously are a little bit of a better situation, especially you get up in the higher terrain up here. But you still got a lot of folks that are traveling right now, etc. That got to go. I will say this. For it being Little Rock standards on a Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, the traffic is a lot lower compared to where it normally be at this point of the day here. So I will say there are folks that are taking the flooding threat seriously, that are at home and everything like that. Did you guys just see that on air? What was that? It's like it looked like his trunk just kind of like it fell off over there. I hope I wasn't the only one that saw that on camera, on the RDOT camera here. But anyways, but yeah, so like I said, there are folks that are taking the flooding threat seriously. Speaking of the flooding threat, we have a tornado threat still down here in southeastern Arkansas. This activity is getting ready to cross over the Mississippi River. Watson, just hang on for just a little bit longer. We've got another 10-15 minutes before this activity is done, and then that's going to be it for us here in Arkansas. The entire threat is going to be over with, and I'm going to zoom this out to kind of give you guys more perspective.
Hey, Cameron,
here.
hold on for just a second. Hold on. Folks, we are not overlooking or not prioritizing the Southeastern Arkansas tornado event. It is live on the screen right now with the tornado warning and the track and everything else that is going across there. Yes, we were dealing with flooding in central and northeast Arkansas and everything else. We're taking care of the whole state. We're looking at everything, but we are paying attention to southeastern Arkansas. We do know that there is a tornado warning that is in effect for Arkansas, the Shea County down there in southeastern Arkansas that's moving into Mississippi. We are watching it and we are paying attention to the rotation. We are not ignoring anybody. We are not putting anybody out. We are paying attention and watching it. There is radar indicated rotation up in the upper levels. It is not down low. It is not touching the ground. There has been nothing coming out of this storm as we currently speak. We're just looking at the state as a whole, and we are keeping you updated and monitoring the tornado warning as well.
Okay, I'm gonna add to this real quickly here. Okay, I don't know what's going on with the state over the last 24 to 48 hours here. There has been so many people that has attacked this page over the last 24 to 48 hours. Okay. I don't know what it's about. I don't know if I did something or our team has done something. We are sitting here giving you guys free weather coverage. We're not charging you a penny for this weather coverage, guys. We are giving you free coverage talking about this. If we didn't care about Southeast Arkansas, we wouldn't be live right now. Okay? We wouldn't be sitting here with a track live on air with the tornado warning. This is why it's been sitting here. That's why we went to this box. So that way we will be focused on the tornado warning itself. So it's heartbreaking that our Kansans are choosing to attack this page because these guys and our team doesn't deserve the hate. They don't. We sit here 24/7 giving you guys weather information, breaking our backs, making sure that you guys are being safe. And in return, we're getting so many people coming at us, attacking us, calling us out, calling us all kinds of names out of books, guys. Like, I understand it's the public, but at some point, just stop, okay? Just stop what you're doing because all you're going to end up doing is somebody else is going to see it, and they're not going to be wanting to do the weather profession. And what's going on here is the biggest problem is every time you attack somebody that's doing this, there could be somebody watching and being like, hey, I don't want to give those guys weather information growing up. And you've got so many people leaving the state because of that reason, because people are getting attacked so much because of that. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the anxiety. I don't know if it's just everything right now that's going on. But folks, it's heartbreaking because, you know, we want to be doing this. We want to give you guys straight weather information. But at the end of the day, you know, we're not going to sit here and get attacked by y'all either. You know, as quickly as we have this can easily go away if it starts getting to a point that people are getting attacked every 5 seconds. So I'm stressing this right now. We've got moderators on the team. Keep the comments civil and professional, guys, okay? We are here to give you guys free 100% coverage. If we, like I said, if we didn't care about Southeast Arkansas, we wouldn't have the track up right now talking about the tornado warning. Right now, the rotation is there. I've got John in my ear. We're watching this situation closely, but we are not going to ignore the flooding threat here. We're not going to ignore the flooding because after all the tornado warnings are expired, the flooding threat is going to be there, and it is catastrophic in some folks. We've had water rescues, we've had high water, and everything like that here, guys, okay? So please stop attacking this page here. I don't understand why there's so much hate being thrown at us right now. I don't get it. It's heartbreaking because I want to be doing this for Arkansas. We want to do this for Arkansas. But at the end of the day, you know, there's just no reason for us to be attacked for any kind of reason, for especially for us doing this right now here, guys, okay? So the Shea County, take your tornado precautions. We've been saying this for the last 30 plus minutes. That's why we went live. We talked about the tornado warnings up there in Northeastern Arkansas. We're talking about the tornado warning down here in Southeastern Arkansas. We're also talking about the flooding threat as well here. I would just make that crystal clear here. We're not ignoring anybody. If we were, I'll tell you this, if we were ignoring people, it would be it will be a situation that we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here doing coverage here, guys, okay?
And that is exactly that comment I like there. The people are telling us, hey, you know, get back to weather and quit talking about stuff. Folks, you know, we would be if we didn't have to address issues. We would be doing exactly just weather coverage if we didn't.
And that's what we've been doing this entire time.
Issues.
And that's what
we have been
doing.
awake and just since about 2 a.m. this morning doing this. We didn't, you know, Cam, I think, got about 2 hours of sleep last night, if that. So we are here doing this for you guys and your benefit. You know, we really would just, like I said, just keep it civil in the comments and let our moderators do their job, and we will do our job covering the weather.
Yep. And that's what we've been doing this entire time. That's why we've been urging folks, you know, make sure if those are tornado warning, this is about to be out of the state, and this is what we're meaning. Once this tornado warning is out of the state, our next subject is going to be flooding, because right now we've got multiple flood warnings across the area. Some of them are catastrophic. We've heard reports of water rescues and stuff like that. So folks, once these tornado warnings are off the board, and this is in Mississippi and Tennessee, our next subject is going to be flooding, because the flooding threat's not going away. It's going to be here all the way throughout the afternoon, into the evening, and into tonight. The tornado threat will be moving out of here over the next, I'd say, 15 to 20 minutes. But this is the situation here, folks, okay? We're not sitting here trying to, you know, get on to folks or anything like that here. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're all human beings here, okay? We're sitting here trying to provide as much coverage to Arkansas as possible, talking about two significant threats here, along with the tornado threat, the flooding threat, because there's folks out here that want to know about the flooding threat, that are trying to travel, you know, emergency management, trying to figure out what's going on. There's water rescues going on in Arkansas right now. So we're trying to figure out, you know, the tornado threat, what's coming up next after the tornado threat. That's going to be the flooding threat coming up across Arkansas. Like I said, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking seeing all the hate, seeing all the comments being thrown our way, guys. It's heartbreaking. And it gets to a point where it's just like, you know, I don't understand it. I don't get it. So right now,
hey,
you know,
so we got
go ahead.
Just going on. So Lucky's Caddo River Canoe and Campground there in Pike County, Arkansas, is completely flooded. Folks, this is a campground that is completely flooded. I don't know if you know of anybody that's there camping, or anybody that is in that general area, as we continue to talk about the flooding threat that is so ongoing. You know, so I don't know. Hopefully they canceled and, you know, and didn't allow, you know, they just took this weekend and said, hey, we're not allowing anybody on the campgrounds. But if there is, like I said, be prepared that if you know anybody in that area, that the whole, campground, it says, is completely flooded there in Pike County.
Yep. And like I said, that's gonna be our next story coming up here with after this tornado warning's been dropped off the board for our folks out here in Southeast Arkansas. So we've got a tract, Arkansas City, the Mellowwood area. This is fixing to cross over the Mississippi River. But as soon as this tornado warning is done, we've got flooding and a lot of it to talk about for our folks back out towards the west here, because although the tornado warnings are now moving out of Arkansas, we're still not done. On top of all of that, Dustin, too, this hasn't been talked about much either, the wind damage that we had up in Northeastern Arkansas. As you guys can see, we have 116,000 customers without power. So energy is going to have to go out, get the power back on, but they can't do anything until all the storms are out of the area. So there's going to be folks that are not going to have power for at least probably a day or so, because it's going to take time for energy to get out and get the power back on. But they can't. But for safety reason, they can't get out until all the storms have passed through the area here. They have to wait for every single warning to drop off and for all that heavy rain and the thunderstorms to move out of the area before they're able to get out to restore the power. So there's going to be folks that, you may not get your power back on for the next 12 to 24 hours because of that potential, because they have to wait till everything clears out, then go assess the damage, and then try to get the power back on here, guys. So my folks in DeShay County, like just been mentioning, this is why the radar has been set right here. We have the track. This is pretty much all we can. This is all we can do. Okay, we can tell you where it's going. Arkansas City in the Mellowwood area. That's where the tornado warning is right now. It's not for anywhere else in the state except for our folks down here in Southeast Arkansas, and that's it. Everybody else, you are good to go, and it's just rain right now and a lot of flooding across the board here, guys. Okay, so let me see here. Yeah, so let me see here. The tree's already gone. I'm gonna see if anybody needs help. Yeah. Go ahead, Dustin.
No, so that is really broadening out as far as if you tilt the Jackson radar up just a little bit. That is actually broadening out quite a bit, and it's going as this is as this largest part of the remaining line is moving the state. So, folks, like I said, fully expecting after this continues to, in the next couple of scans to go ahead and as this filters on and out to Mississippi, to be completely, for the first time in about a full week, to not have several days of not having any tornado weather, coming our way, and we will have to turn our complete focus to flash flooding of, for for just about the whole state.
Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I haven't heard anything from this tornado warning, which is great news, by the way. Whenever you deal with a tornado warning, you don't want to ever hear about, somebody's house getting hit or a tornado on the ground, stuff like that. So I haven't heard anything out of this across eastern Arkansas along the Mississippi River. But what I am hearing right now, Dustin, a ton of flooding reports. I've got folks that are blowing up the media reports with, roadways that are just completely washed over. This is now starting to threaten homes and businesses. So this is kind of the reason why that we're talking about this too, because I haven't heard anything about this tornado warning from emergency management. I have not heard a thing. There's no reports of anything on the ground. They warned this because it did have that broad rotation along the line, but I haven't heard anything in terms of this being confirmed or someone has spotted something or whatnot. Obviously, still remain where you are if you're in the Watson area, DeShay County, etc. But I haven't heard a single thing coming out from this tornado warning. Everything that I've heard over the last hour or so has been flooding. That's how it is, guys. Okay, so we're gonna have to continue to keep an eye on the situation. Looks like they're extending that tornado warning further into Mississippi, across the Arkansas-Mississippi border, going over the Mississippi River here. But like I said, right now I have not heard anything in terms of this thing being on the ground or anything like that. We're still going to treat it as such. But right now, this is mainly going to affect our folks in the Watson area, DeShay County, and that's pretty much it. That's where this tornado warning is right now, and it's getting extended further into Mississippi. But then that's it, folks. And like I said, I think a lot of what's going on right now is just a lot of people are the anxiety is through the roof right now, and they're just trying to find anybody to take it out on. And it's not us just here in Arkansas weather watchers. It's the meteorologists across the state too. They're taking the brunt of it. They're just people that are just absolutely just attacking for no reason. I mean, I don't understand it. But right now, folks, this is your tornado warning right here. This is in Watson, in DeShay County. I have not heard anything from emergency management that this is on the ground or anything like that. The rotation, just looking at this, looks like it's broad in nature. Still remain where you are if you know anyone out here. This is Watson. This is along the Mississippi River, even across the Mississippi River as well, over in western Mississippi. Give those folks a heads up as well. This is why we have these tracks that are broadened out like this. Because we do have folks that live on the other side of the Arkansas-Mississippi River, and they still continue to, watch our stuff and stuff like that. So give those folks a heads up. Just because it's not in Arkansas doesn't mean you can't give your fellow neighbor over here in western Mississippi a heads up about a tornadic storm that's moving out of the area here. Outside of that, that's it. I mean, you've got a... So look at this. This is how rare. This is how big this flooding threat is. Now you have a flash flood warning, catastrophic now for Memphis. You have one up here in Lawrence and Sharp County, catastrophic. Multiple. I mean, guys, this flooding threat is significant. This is probably the most prolific flooding event we've had here in Arkansas in quite some time. So, this is why we're telling you guys right now, don't ignore the flooding threat. Yes, I cannot wait for all these tornado warnings to get out of Arkansas. I can't wait for them. I think you may have another one. I'm going to go ahead, not taking anything away from the tornado warning up here right now, but I'm getting concerned about this one down here too. This one's severe thunderstorm warning toward Pulse. So Jackson has not put a tornado warning for this one yet. But I'm going to put a track. Like I said, I'm not taking anything away from that one up there. But this one is starting to show rotation too. And I'll put a track. This is moving very quickly. 60 miles per hour. We'll be done by 3 o'clock across Arkansas. So that's the biggest thing here, guys. Like I said, we're not doing anything and everything like that here, guys. Okay. So let me see here. I'm just reading.
That's everything right now. No, you're good. This is turning into a straight line, which is what you want, because it takes down your tornado threat significantly. Because what happens is everything comes into a straight line. It becomes more of a wind threat, and it becomes more of a hail threat as it moves off to the east. And I said we'll continue to watch, like as we did for last night, is anything bowing out in front of that line, which could produce what we call a QLCS, type tornado event. But like I said, these have been just tornado possible tags on a severe thunderstorm warning, and then that tornado warning up there in DeShay County, which is continue to move off into the east into Mississippi. Folks, we are watching these both very closely, as we are just across everything else and across the whole state. Right now we are looking at you see on your screen there the southeasternmost part of the state to look for a little bit of rotation there, just southwest of Portland.
So I see what they're doing. They're going toward Pulse with these storms out here. Like I said, I'm not taking anything away from the tornado warning down here right now, but this one right here looks stronger than the one up here near Watson right now here. So there may be a tornado warning that get issued for Chico County. That's going to be for our folks on Lake Village, the Eudora area down here in southeast Arkansas. I'm getting concerned about this one. This one is starting to become more broadened out within the line. So what's probably going to end up happening is this one's probably going to be let go pretty early. But I wouldn't be shocked if Jackson puts a tornado warning down here in the eastern Ashley County and Chico counties there. So what we're going to do, you guys know this drill by now over the last couple of days. Don't wait for the actual tornado warning polygon to get issued. You go ahead and seek shelter immediately at this kind of time here. The Eudora area, Lake Village. These folks down here, give them a heads up. I know they're under severe thunderstorm warning toward Pulse, but this is showing a good amount of rotation here just to the east of Crossett, just north and west of the Wilmot area, southwest of Lake Village, and east of Eudora. This one up here, fortunately, is starting to broaden out along the line. This one's going to be more of a damaging wind event up here now. We're going to keep an eye and see what they're going to end up doing with the tornado warning up here, but I'm definitely seeing a difference between the two here. It looks like this one is starting to get a good amount of rotation going versus the one up here that's a lot more broad now, if you see what I mean. So we're going to zoom this out. I'm going to put a track on both because if this one goes toward one down here, it's going to go for Chico County. So I'm going to put a track for both of these cells through here. We're going to kind of take this out. I'm going to clock it. I'm going to go 60 miles per hour because these storms are not wasting any time, by the way. If we give you a heads up, there is no time to be lollygagging around because these storms are moving at 60+ miles per hour. That's highway speeds, folks. That's a mile a minute.
If you look,
so yeah, go ahead.
now if you look, I was looking at the camera there at the Pendleton at the Arkansas River. People are putting in boats, most likely going in help rescue, people. They're off of right there that's the camera that is facing that, area there just to the south of in between DeWitt and McGee. That is on Highway 165 there. That is facing, looks like probably facing eastbound there towards the river. There are people, putting in boats. Looks like they're probably, going to go out and do rescue alert, rescue help. So like I said, you can see how high the flooding is there at the river as, people are, like I said, stay away from, traveling as much as possible to, tornado warnings as well as, the, flooding threats.
Yeah, and that continues to be the situation here, along with the tornado threat, because I'm going to go ahead and put our rotation tool back up here, because like I said, I'm keeping an eye on both right now. I will say this, the southern one down here in Ashley and Chico counties looks to be the strongest out of the two right now, because I'm keeping an eye on both. You've got one area right here, and then you also have another area, which I can probably duplicate this. If you give me a second. At least I thought I could. Give me a second. Let me go ahead and do this right here. Okay, so you have one area up here, and then you have another area right up here. Now, the southern one, the one in Ashley and Chico counties, and when you look at this rotation detection, by the way, remember what I said last night. The green is moving towards the radar. The red is moving away from the radar. So you have the green that's moving towards it. That's your northeasterly winds, northwesterly winds coming in on the backside of circulation, and then you have your red that's coming in away from the radar that's going towards the circulation, your southerly, your southeasterly winds. So right now, I think they're opting to not go toward one down there in Ashley and Chico counties. They're going to keep an eye on it. But also there's some storms up, there's that rotation up there in DeShay County right now that is rotating. We have to keep an eye on as well. That is just to the southeast of the Gillette area. Tornado warning is going to remain in effect until 3 p.m. this afternoon. The severe thunderstorm warning to a pause is down there until I think 2:45 or something like that. Go ahead.
The delayed report here earlier of reports thunderstorm wind damage at 11:13 Central Daylight Time. A business in Sherwood, Arkansas, had the roof partially ripped off the building. So that was back there in Pulaski County. So.
Yep. So that's going to be the biggest thing here, guys. That's going to be south and that like I said, you got two areas of rotation. One north and west of the Vermont area, and then you've got the other one over there just south and east of the Gillette area here, guys. So one of them, the top one is 12-1, the other one is not. So what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna go over to the normal way that you look at radar here, guys. I think that will kind of help get people to understand, where this is, stuff like that. Also, I'm gonna draw on here because I think I'm able to draw on the map. If you give me just no. Now that was it. Give me a second. 1 second. I'm gonna pull this over here. So I'm gonna draw this because I can show the direction on where this is going here. So give me just a minute. Let me get this up, and it's going to be. Give me 1 second. Okay. So I'm gonna pull this up, and I think I should theoretically be able to draw on the map. Yep, I sure can. There it goes. Okay. So that's gonna be it. I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Yep. So and transition this over, and there we go. Okay, so I'm able to draw on the map now. So now what I can do is I can show you guys the exact direction that these storms are going here. So you got an area of rotation down here. It's moving in this general direction. Then you have another one over here that's moving in this general direction as well. So if you know any one of these areas, make sure that they're taking their tornado precautions to be like get away from windows, put as many walls to you in the outside as possible, get to the lowest level of your home immediately at this current time. That goes for both, by the way. I'm not just targeting the tornado warning. The other one down here, they're showing a good amount of rotation as well. So we'll go back over here. Let me go to take that one off real quickly here. I think I should do it. Yep, that's going to do it. And we're going to go back over to the rotation detection real quickly here. And what I'm going to do here, I've got the track already set and ready to go. I'm going to do this. There's your track through here. And then there's your other track that's going to go right through here. Like I said, this is about to be out of the state within the next 30 minutes. I've got Christina. She said there's trees down in her neighborhood near Jordan's Barbecue and in Bryant, guys. So this is a very bad situation here, guys. And I want to kind of throw a quick shout out real fast to one of our sponsors that's going to be with him at Moreland Construction LLC. One of my guys, if y'all can tag them in the comments on Facebook, that'd be appreciated. Check those guys out. There's been a lot of damage across the state, especially today in central Arkansas, and the trees that have fallen. Those guys specialize. I love those guys to death. I know Nick personally. He's got an amazing crew that will come out, take care of your tree damage, that will take care of anything that you need. Give those guys a call here, guys. If one of my guys can get his company in the comments, that'd be great, because I'm starting to see tree damage and stuff like that from earlier on in central Arkansas from when the storms passed through. So if y'all can get that in the comments, that'd be awesome. Go check out his page. Get in contact with those guys. If you've had any damage, they will get you taken care of 100%. You got them, Arkansas Weather Watchers, Blue Mark, check certified. That those guys will go out and take care of your damage and everything like that here, guys. So if y'all can get that in the comments, that'll be awesome. Go ahead, Dustin.
They did cancel Arkansas County and continued Deshae County in that latest tornado warning. So the only county that we have in a tornado warning, complete tornado warning right now is Deshae County. We do have that tornado warning, tornado possible tag on the Ashley and Chico counties, but the only tornado warned storm we have is in Deshae County at this time until, and that will go until 3 o'clock.
Yeah. So what I have done is I've put the arrows. I'm probably just going to leave it on this screen. I have put the arrows in place. When I could probably loop this as well, so you guys can probably see what there you go. Now it's looped, so you guys kind of see the direction here. And this one down here, near the Ashley and Chico Council, looks like it's not even going east anymore. It's like it's trying to go a little bit to the northeast here. So Lake Village, I'd keep an eye on this storm here. And that might actually be a problem for those.
You got a chaser down there on that. You ought to look at the feed there. It's definitely something you can tell. It's trying to get its act together. Yeah.
So that doesn't surprise me here, especially down there in Southeast Arkansas. We've had that area highlighted today for that tornado threat. Now, fortunately for us here in Arkansas, the significant tornado threat looks like it's not going to materialize here in Arkansas, but, that's still too early to determine. I want to see what happens with this Lake Village storm right now. And then obviously we had the tornadoes up there in Northeastern Arkansas once again with the wind damage. And then for our folks in Central Arkansas, we had the wind damage as well here. So we're just going to kind of keep this up. I know Jackson is not going to, they're not planning on putting a warning out for that one down here in Chico County here, which I'll go ahead and clear this. I thought that cleared it off. Apparently it didn't. So I'll clear that off. We'll go ahead and put a nice arrow right through here, and I'm gonna take it. That literally takes it right through Lake Village, and then you have this other one up here, which is starting to get going once again. But for our folks here in Arkansas, that's gonna be a problem. That's gonna move into literally moving into Tennessee here, guys. Okay, so let's see here. That's gonna be it. Let's take a look real fast here. That's gonna be for our Lane area here. I know there's a new tornado warning that just got issued. That's gonna go. Let's see, it's going to go for Phillips and Deshae counties here. So I'll go ahead and read you guys the brand new tornado warning that's in place. But let me stop the radar for just a moment here. So that tornado warning up here is going to go to 3:30. But this one's going to be out of Arkansas before 3:30. This is going to be over and done with before then. So Let me see here. So, John, are you back, by the way? I'm not sure. Phillips County. That's That's the southern. That's the southern end. That's the southern end. So that's that storm that's going to be moving up into Mississippi here. So it's this one. Yeah, it's the southern end of this one. So this one's going to be moving into Mississippi, coming up here in just a little bit. So pretty much they have the tornado warning starting in Phillips County, and then it's going to move into West Tennessee, not Tennessee, West Memphis at this current point here. So,
yeah.
All right, let me see here. All right, so Jamie's got us set up, and she's looking at the flooding. So just looking at everything right now here. So I think, I'm catching up. I'm literally catching up on everything right now.
No, you're good. I was just looking at the new mesoscale that Shreveport put out. Made sure they're still watching storms and everything else that are down there in in the southern parts. So it's not anything of those. I was looking to make sure it was not anything up there, the ones that was connected to, just south of, the state line there. So.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me whatsoever. So, let me see. Okay. I'm trying to see something real quick. Like I said, I'm going through all this. My phone's been blown up to Kingdom Come with all the reports and everything right now here. So, not only the tornado threat here, like I said before, I haven't heard anything about these tornadoes right now in this area here. I haven't heard a single thing that this is on the
purple.
ground,
Somebody asked about what it asked about the purple is just the extent of what the radar coverage is. So the radar I believe he's using right now is Jackson.
Is Jackson?
So that is showing that. Yeah. So that's showing the extent of where Jackson's radar is starting to kind of the furthest extent out. That has nothing to do with the actual any kind of storm anything at all.
Yeah. So I'll put this in perspective. Little Rock's radar cuts off. I'll put it this way. Your radar for Little Rock goes pretty much like through this, and then you have Jackson's radar here. So this is what makes Southeast Arkansas so tricky, is because you have no radar between Little Rock and the Jackson radar here. So we're having to use Jackson's radar, and Jackson's radar only goes up. By the way, let me see if I can get that. There we go. That's much better. Jackson's radar only goes up to right up here. That's literally all what it goes up to. So you'll start seeing these pink, not this pink, this purple. Basically, you're getting away from the radar. You're getting away from the radar here, and the data is starting to become a lot more distorted the further you get away from the radar here, guys. So that's something that we're going to have to continue to monitor real quickly here. But as I said before, 5 folks in here, tornado warning still remains in effect. There's your area of rotation. It's going to be crossing the Mississippi River within the next 5 minutes. This is about to be a Tennessee problem. My folks that live along not Tennessee. Why do I keep thinking Tennessee? Mississippi. Because I think I'm still locked on all the damage that's happened up there in Northeastern Arkansas here. So this is about to be a Mississippi problem. Anyone that's crossing over the Mississippi River here, if you know anyone that lives along the Mississippi River, etc., give them a heads up. Across the river over here in West Mississippi, give them a heads up. We are kind of keep an eye on this situation down here in Southeast Arkansas near the Montrose and the Portland area. Right now, it looks like that this area of rotation is pretty kind of aloft in the atmosphere because they're not warning this. Jackson has not warned this area as of now, but we're going to kind of keep an eye on things here. Let me double check a couple of things. Looks like that's going to be, yep, there you go. So that's going to be your track with this. I'm drawing on the wrong side of things. I'm sorry, guys. Let me do something real quickly here. So I don't need to do that. Let me do this. So we'll kind of take this, zoom this out. I will clear this off, and then let me move this out of the way. Okay, move this out of the way. Put you right here, and then there's going to be an area right there. So let me go over here, and then this is going to be it. Okay.
So to answer that question, they're asking about did they install a radar on the water tower in Dermont? If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, because this is more your area. I believe they were going to, but I don't think they actually fully got that done and set up, did they?
So And I've heard two different stories about that here. So, what I'm sorry, I got distracted. Somebody was messaging me on my phone. So,
No, you're good.
I've heard two sides of that story here. One, that they didn't finish the radar. They were going to, but they never really got it installed. And then I also heard a situation that they did get it up, and it's not available for the public. It's only available for like the National Weather Service, and I think there's some couple of agencies, that may have access to it here, but it's not just public access. It's just for the National Weather Service only. And I think maybe a couple of news broadcast agencies or something like that. That's what I heard. I have no idea. I haven't been down there to really investigate, and I haven't kept up with that story because obviously we've had a billion other things to worry about. But apparently I've heard two sides of that story. I don't know which side is true. So
yeah, you won't ever know. So they canceled Jefferson and Lincoln and continued Arkansas, DeShay, and Monroe County until 3 o'clock in the severe thunderstorm warning tour possible. Remind everyone that is a severe thunderstorm warning, not the tornado warning.
Correct. So right now that area of rotation now. So by the way, I know this is probably the most unprofessional thing. I'm yawning for a reason because I'm working off only a couple hours of sleep. So my body's seeing these storms move out of Arkansas, and it's like, oh hey, you're gonna get ready to relax soon. I was like, yep, I am. So if you see me stretching or yawning or something like that, I promise you I'm trying not to on air. I hate doing stuff like that on air in front of people. But I'm tired. We had an A+ coverage last night. Yeah, go ahead.
These people here are talking about West Helena and Marble and area. That's the second time I've seen where they have tornado sirens are going off. You are still underneath a tornado warning in the area. The rotation is very broad in that area. There is
it's south. It's south of the Helena area. So those sirens are programmed. Good job, Dustin. Those sirens are programmed to where if any part of the county, even if it's the slimmest part of the county is under a warning, those sirens go off. So Helena, West Helena, the area of rotation, I've got this on the map, by the way. It's way to your south. It's down here near the Elaine area here. So I've got a track already, by the way, on both rotations of where they're going. But the reason why the sirens are going off up here is because the tornado warning polygon technically is for Phillips County. But, it's a situation where it's, when the tornado warning is touching the county, the sirens go off regardless of where the storm is. I know they are working on new situations to where the sirens don't go off unless, they're directly in the polygon itself. I know that's where we're headed. I know that's going to require, a lot of funding and stuff like that. But for at least right now, most of your sirens go off regardless. Like last night here in Little Rock, southern Pulaski County was under a tornado warning, and the sirens went off here in Little Rock. So outdoor outdoor sirens should not be used for, warning purposes, guys, okay? They're only meant if you are doing outdoor plans or we have an outdoor event or something like that. They are not meant for a warning source. This is 2025. Every single person I know has got a device, iPhone or Android. Every single person I know has got some sort of device. That's where you get your weather alerts nowadays, okay? You do not rely on outdoor sirens to provide weather information, to provide warning as a warning service for you. That's why we have the alerts. That's why you have push notifications and stuff nowadays, because those sirens are not meant to warn you. They're only meant for if you're outside. They are meant to warn you if you're outside. They're not meant to warn you if you're indoors.
Cameron,
or whatever.
Looking at this right here, that as this is coming into Mississippi now, this is not scare anybody there in eastern Arkansas, but this is right there does look like on a chaser feed here that looks like you could be having a lowering out of a wall cloud that is out there as it's heading into Mississippi. Now this is going into, so if you know anybody in western Mississippi, I would definitely be giving them a heads up, as this is definitely a very strong looking area of wall cloud there in western Mississippi.
Oh yeah. So, like I said, this is actually about to cross the Mississippi River, going into western Mississippi coming up here shortly here. So this is about to be a Mississippi problem. The tornado warnings are still in place because it's right along the river here, but this is now moving out of this area here. This one is not tool worn down here. I'm just highlighting it because there is a good amount of rotation down here. Jackson, National Service in Jackson, which by the way, I want to stress this too. We don't control the watches and warnings, by the way. Those are our friends at the National Weather Service. They're the ones that make the decisions on who gets put under the warning and who gets put under a watch. We're just echoing the information that they put out. I would hate their jobs because it gets stressful putting watches and warnings and stuff out here for something like this here. So, this is a situation that, if it's not tool warning, it is severe thunderstorm warning tornado possible. You still have to treat it like a tornado warning. You just have to treat it that way because it has tornado possible on it. But there's just not enough evidence for them to go tornado warned right now here in that area here. Okay, so right now we're just kind of sitting pretty. I want to talk about the flooding threat, but I don't want to put my moderator team through a situation where people will start attacking. So I'm just gonna kind of refrain from talking about the flooding threat until this tornado warning has been out of Arkansas. But the flooding threat will be something that we will talk about after the tornado warnings have left Arkansas, because
it looks like they might have. Let me look at this here to verify that they haven't. It looks like that. The actual storm is out of Arkansas and into Mississippi, but I do not see where they have completely let the tornado warning go just yet.
Yeah, and
Well, they did. They did cancel the tornado warning as of 2:50. Yeah, okay. So I thought I saw that pop up. I just want to confirm they did cancel the tornado warning for DeShay County.
Okay, so DeShay County is gone. What about Phillips? Phillips is going to go until 3:30. So
Yeah.
they'll probably.
And that is why the tornado sirens are going off in Helena, West Helena, is because of the way that the county is shaped and the way that the system, the way the line is going through there. So again, this is to your south and to your west of Helena, West Helena. This is more, toward the lane, going out towards, again, the state line there, very, very quickly passing into Mississippi.
Yeah. So I'm going to do this, and I'm going to take off all the severe thunderstorm warnings here. We're just going to focus on the tornado warnings here, because I know there was a situation where it just kind of, all the flood warnings right now that we got so much massive flash flood warnings right now, and they're kind of taking up all the screen. So we're just going to kind of make this a little clearer for everybody to understand. This one is here in West Helena here. There's Phillips County, Arkansas County, DeShay County, etc. here. So your area of rotation, now I'm looking for the Memphis area. It's going to be right here near Mellowwood here, literally right along the Arkansas, Mississippi border, right along the Mississippi River. This is going to quickly move in this general direction here, guys, okay? This is moving away from Arkansas. As a matter of fact, and I'm going to address this for the hecklers in there too. If we didn't care about Southeast Arkansas, we'd be hopping off of coverage right now, because this is moving out into Mississippi. The one down in Southeast Arkansas is not tool worn. There's no reason for us to be live, but we choose to be live because we care about Arkansas. As hateful as they've been towards us, we still care about the state of Arkansas. So that's why we're still here and we're still live here, because in this situation, this tornado warning is moving out, it's moving into Mississippi, and then the one down in Southeast Arkansas is down there is not even tool warned. It's severe thunderstorm warning tornado possible. But we're still here. We're still live. We're still going to give you guys updates until all these severe thunderstorm warnings have moved into Mississippi here. And we'll let our guys at North Mississippi Storm Chasers, really good page, by the way, let those guys take care of it over there at this point here. And, we've had enough severe weather. We're gonna let them take it going over the next day or so here. And there's actually another risk, I think, tomorrow out there in the southeast from this this beast of a system that's coming out from the west here, guys. Here, so this is your only 2 tornado warnings in place right now. My folks down here in southern Phillips, also in northern DeShay counties here. This tornado warning has been dropped. This one here is going to go until 3:30. This one's going to continue to move to the east here, and I think that's pretty much it for right now. I'm just kind of double checking a couple of things here. So,
Looks
let's
like they're going to
see.
continue for Phillips County. Looks like they're going to continue maybe do that to a severe thunderstorm warning tornado possible on
Mhm.
that currently. So as that moves out into western Mississippi and becomes a Mississippi problem and not an Arkansas problem. Which again, if you know anybody in the Clarksdale, Mississippi area, points north, and just let them know, hey, this is coming in your area. As right there at the Mississippi state line, there is a hail corn that is forming, right there as it's crossing over the state line. So if you know anybody in what I guess that is Alligator, Mississippi, okay. If you know anybody right there along Highway 61 as this is crossing over into Mississippi, let them know that there is a hail core that is coming their way, and they can expect some strong winds with the brunt of this storm.
So yeah, so I just kind of, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to switch the attention over to flooding because, like I said, it's just going to lead to us getting attacked. You know, the Memphis area, just north of here, by the way, is under a flash flood emergency. The Memphis Metro is now under a flash flood emergency for those areas here. So they are urging folks that are traveling towards the Memphis area, please use extreme caution on the roads. There's been several reports of highways being flooded over, the low-lying areas being flooded over and everything like that here. So just kind of breaking that in. That's why I was on my phone, because I've got a guy that works for emergency management. He's just kind of keeping me in the loop with everything. I'm just not going to talk about flooding because obviously what happened earlier. The Memphis area is under a flash flood emergency, and they're just kind of urging folks that are traveling along Interstate 40 right now, going towards Memphis, that this could be a rather dire situation for those folks up there in terms of the flooding threat here. So right now, I think, Dustin, we're just kind of chilling for a little bit. We've got the tornado warning that's moving out. Looks like I'm going to see something real quick. Looks like still have severe thunderstorm warnings down here. But this is now a special weather statement here for about 50-mile-per-hour winds and less than 1 inch hail. So it looks like this is about to be moving out of Arkansas. And I think that'll be it. I think we're going to be done. And I think we're going to go from there. So just trying to keep an eye on everything at this point. So other than that, I mean, Dustin, do you have anything that you need to kind of throw out at this point?
No, it looks like they have expired the severe thunderstorm warning for Arkansas, DeShay, and Monroe counties. So that severe thunderstorm warning has been allowed to expire. We're continue to get delayed reports out of Pulaski County of different thunderstorm wind damage. So I expect to continue to get delayed reports throughout the afternoon today and into the evening tonight that we will post on the page and keep you guys updated. As we continue to get information in from folks affected by these storms. But again, that was some thunderstorm wind damage and numerous trees down in Pulaski County. And as far as the severe thunderstorm warning goes, Arkansas, DeShay, Monroe counties are now out of the severe thunderstorm warning polygon as we continue to watch this storm right up here in Phillips County, with it expected probably to expire within the next, was supposed to go till 3:30, but we'll keep monitoring that and see if they continue that or what they decide to do up here in Phillips County.
Sounds good here. So I'm gonna put this back on the sky cam here in Little Rock because I don't know if y'all heard that. It sounds like we got some lightning going on right now here. So looks like things are trying to clear out. I see it on the horizon on the kind of on the southwest side here on this sky cam. Looks like things are trying to clear out. Everything just looks soggy here in Little Rock right now here. So that's going to continue to be the situation here. Also, I will say this too. This could be our rotation tool should be coming back up. There we go. So I will say this too. I want you guys to pay attention to this number right in here. Let me go ahead and draw this out. This number right here. Arkansas's total power outages right now is sitting at 114,000. Actually, let's take the back. News numbers now is 111,800 here. So Energy is going to be working their tails off to try to get your power back on here. But you also got to remember they can't get out until everything clears off. So those that are in the comments right now, if y'all be patient with them, they're taking time away from family and friends and stuff like that to make sure that you're able to get your power back on and everything like that. I am going to look, Dustin, to see what the estimated
now. They have continued that tornado possible severe thunderstorm warning until 4 o'clock for Ashley and Chico County there in southeastern Arkansas.
Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to kind of hang tight when this tornado warning drops off. We're going to kind of make sure that our folks down there in Ashley and Chico County are taken care of here. I think we can get away with a radar update for that because that's not TOR warned. So we'll keep an eye on that here. We're going to let this tornado warning for Phillips kind of get off the board. We'll zoom down briefly, kind of take a look at this here. Right now, they're not going tornado warned with this. So we'll keep an eye on it. But for right now, I think you can get away with a with a radar update for our folks down here in southeastern Arkansas. So we'll keep an eye on it here. Like I mentioned before, we've circled this area. I'm gonna go back over to Jackson, man, and I'll tell you this. This is what I mean. You have Memphis radar, Little Rock, and Jackson's radar. You really need a radar somewhere in this vicinity here to kind of cover between these two areas because you're having a bounce between Memphis and Jackson right now. So let me go ahead and click on Jackson's radar. It's going to be coming up here in just a second.
If you need, I said, if anybody knows anybody, I know this is Arkansas Weather Watchers, and we were watching this move across the part of the state there, folks. I'm looking at this, Cameron, and they're in Clarksdale, Mississippi. That thing is getting, if anybody knows, a lot of what we call an anvil cloud, and that is starting to really take shape and really starting to get a very low to the ground cloud forming over there with a heavy bout of rainfall there behind it. And that is, I would not be surprised there if our folks there in Clarksdale, Mississippi do not get something dropped from this if you want to see that on there on the radar.
Yeah, I see it. That's the one, I believe that's the one up there in Phillips County, correct? The one that's coming out of Phillips County and that's going over Clarksdale. Yeah, it's going to be this one. The problem is, it's right between Jackson's radar and Memphis's radar, so you're not going to get the best visual.
I was just looking at a chaser feed, and that's what I was looking at on I was looking at a chaser feed, and watching it. It is very ominous behind it, and there is a very strong lowering as this is coming into Mississippi, and that's why I was saying for our folks down there in the on the state line that know anybody in western Mississippi. Or stay in your safe spots there in eastern Arkansas. Let this storm continue to pass on over. But I'm very well assuming that's probably why they left that part warned there until it does break off over there and go completely into Mississippi.
Yeah. So that's something that we're just gonna have to continue to monitor here, guys. Like I said, this is what I'm probably gonna end up doing here. I'm gonna hang tight. It is about 3:04 right now here, okay? So what we're probably going to end up doing, we're going to let this tornado warning up here get out of Arkansas, first of all, and then we're going to do a statewide recap of today's event, talk about the flooding and everything like that, Dustin, and then I think we should be good to go. Between, getting this tornado warning out and doing a recap, if another tornado warning gets issued in Chico County, that does get National Weather Service time without us having to break everything down. Tornado warning gets issued, and then we have to come back on the live stream. So we're just gonna kind of hang tight. We're gonna wait for that tornado warning up there to drop up there, and then that's gonna be it. We're gonna kind of talk about the flooding threat once we get past the ongoing tornado warnings at this current time, you guys. So just double checking everything right now here. I haven't heard anything in terms of this thing being on the ground outside of, like you said, that chaser that's down there. I haven't heard anything. So that's why we're not really harping on what's going on down here outside of telling people, take shelter, because we have not heard anything from emergency management. We haven't heard anything about this being on the ground or somebody getting destroyed, something like that. But what I have heard, and the thing that's been blowing my phone up all morning long, flooding.
That's blowing mine up right now.
Yeah, that's blowing your phone up too. It's flooding. That's the number one thing that's been blowing my phone up here. And like I said, I'm going to wait until these tornado warnings move out of Arkansas, because our team's been through enough, and I don't want people attacking us because we're talking about flooding. That's a significant catastrophic event. It's a major issue right now for people, but apparently if we're not talking about, something, that's moving out of Arkansas, then we're bad people. So we're going to wait till these tornado warnings leave out of the state, and then we're going to go from there. It looks like they have a new tornado warning now for Phillips County up there. I'm going to check and see what that's about. And we're going to go
trying to see if I can get
like,
some of these cameras on RDOT, but all these cameras are unavailable. So I don't know if that is.
Most of them is probably because of the recent storms that we've had. And some of them may be because they're being worked on. So you may not have the camera set up here. And also, speaking of cameras here, there's a lot of OEMs that are watching this stream right now. We have a weather camera project that we're trying to get established across the state. If you know anybody, if you are friends with anyone that is a emergency management, please have them email us. Okay, we've been trying to get in contact with all 75 counties. We've had a few that have reached out, but we do have a weather camera project that we're trying to get established across Arkansas for this particular reason. Yeah. So if you know somebody that you either sit on the city core, or I'm not sure how all that works. If you know somebody that's an official like emergency management, and you know someone that does the funding and stuff like that, get in contact with us here, because we're trying to get that weather camera project set up for situations like this, where you have everything right now here. So White County 911 Dispatch Center is saying that if you do not have to get on the roads and drive on these roads, please stay at home. We have had vehicles swept away, roads washed out, more and more flooded roads coming in, trees and power lines down. We are doing everything we can to get everyone help with all these calls. This flooding is serious, and everyone needs to realize that. Please check your flood levels on NOAA's website and plan accordingly. That is from the White County 911 Dispatch Center, guys, okay? Like I said, folks, folks that are attacking us because we're not talking about the tornado warnings enough. This is just a situation where you're flooding threat. You got the 911 Dispatch Center saying, folks need to stay off the roadways. That's a pretty bad situation, guys. Those folks that are working in the dispatch and the emergency management and stuff like that today has been through absolute hell with the flooding threat. And not only that, but the wind machine that we have goes through central and northeastern Arkansas earlier on. We're still here. We're still going to keep an eye on these tornado warnings right now. Looks like there is one now for Phillips County. It's going to go until 3:30. The storm motion is moving northeast at about 50 miles per hour here. So I'll zoom down. Let me go to Memphis radar, because you're not going to be able to see anything from Jackson. Yeah. We may have an issue here. Justin, can you do me a favor?
I've been checking. What's that?
Is Memphis radar still up?
Yes.
It is? Okay, because it was flashing red on my end, and whenever it flashes red like this, guys, that normally is a sign that it's offline. So
it's online, and I'm looking at the CC drop. There's no debris ball at the current moment. It does look like it is a lot of wind and hail that is embedded within this, and with it being so far away, I'm going to tilt up the radar just a little bit. But currently, I'm not seeing any type of major rotation with this. But Lakeview needs to be in their safe spot. This will affect Helena, West Helena, and Lexa. This is your first, warning on this, that it is moving your way. Now, again, this is not a radar confirmed tornado. This is a tornado warning that is radar indicated, with a just moving to the north and east of the Lane area, moving over Lakeview currently.
So I see the structure from on the other side of the Mississippi River. I see it. I see that structure. It's gorgeous. It is an absolutely gorgeous shot of that storm here. Like I said, this is on the other side. It's not in Arkansas. It's on the other side of the Mississippi River here. I will say this right now, and like I said, I don't want to take anything away from these tornado warnings here, but the problem I'm having right now with this is, you see this purple line right through here? So Memphis's radar is way up here. The tornado warning storm's here. Jackson's radar is here. Little Rock's radar is here. This isn't between 3 radars right now. So you're not getting the best visual. You're looking at this. If you're a weather enthusiast, you're looking at this. You're like, hey, where's the rotation? Why is this tool worn? Well, you're not getting the best rotation signature is because it's between 3 different radars right now. So you got to take it with a grain of salt. What you see on radar, obviously, it's still producing a potential of a tornado. You got to take your tornado precautions here. So my folks in Helena, West Helena, the Letza area over towards that's the Lane, Melwood area, take your tornado precautions immediately at this current time here. Now, I will say this: the flooding threat is starting to be nudged out of western Arkansas and is now starting to move east towards central and into eastern Arkansas, which means that western Arkansas, after everything we've been through, is finally beginning to calm down here, guys. So we just got to get rid of these lingering tornado warnings, just kind of, for some reason, hanging on to Arkansas by a thread. And then once this is out of here, we are going to be good to go here, guys. Here, so I'm going to let the radar play. Dustin, if you got anything that you need to kind of report, either it's tornado or flooding, you can go ahead.
No, it's just looking at they are continuing that severe thunderstorm warning, but that is into moving on into Tennessee. That we've had those. We got some strong winds. So, like I said, a lot of these things are moving out of Arkansas into Tennessee and Mississippi. We are continuing to watch that area there in southeastern Arkansas there in Phillips County as it continues to move up north and east, but currently and also still seeing, a lot of Waldron damage occurred to Waldron School roof, which led to ceiling damage and water infiltration, which means don't know if it's caused by hail or damaging winds, but apparently the Waldron School District got a hit on the roof. Now they have something to deal with, folks. That's why I say we're going to be seeing a lot of these delayed reports keep coming in as things are unfolding and people can get to them.
Let me ask you this: when did that report come in? You said it was delayed.
Yeah, it was 1:58 a.m. Central Daylight Time, and
that was a significant hailer over there.
Yeah.
So I remember it because it had the what's called a DBZ level, or your basically what you see on your radar. It was maxed out. So that one over there, that one was your significant hail. So what happened? What was it? The roof got damaged?
Waldron School roof, which led to ceiling damage and water infiltration. Uncertain whether it was caused by very large hail or damaging wind. So basically, the hail, caused roof damage, which allowed all the rain and everything else coming in to go get inside the building.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense because that was over there last night where it had that sort of thunderstorm warning. It wasn't tore or anything like that. It had the really big. They had a big hailstorm over there in western Arkansas last night. So that makes sense. But to kind of add on to what's going on right now here, guys, we're still here. The tornado warning for Arkansas looks like it's moving out. We only have one more left. It's gonna be for Phillips, and that's gonna go until 3:30. So what we're gonna do here is gonna kind of, like I said, to avoid our team getting absolutely just attacked, we're going to wait for these tornado warnings to kind of get out of the area before we start talking about the flooding and everybody else across the state, because we've been through enough. And, I know our moderator team doesn't mind it. That's what they're there for. But, at the end of the day, I'm still going to back those guys because they've been here volunteering, making sure that everything's been running smoothly here. So we're going to keep them updated and everything like that, and we're going to go from there, guys. So, let me see here. Yeah, Dustin, you can go ahead. I'll go ahead and switch over here real quickly here, so you're good. Yeah, you go ahead, Dustin. So, Dustin had to go get something to drink real quickly, guys. So, I'm pretty much here, and like I said before, I'm going to give you guys a quick update on what's going on here. So you have that tornado warning in Phillips County right now. That's pretty much it. Everybody else across the state is a lot of heavy rain. You have the flooding threat starting to pile up across northeastern Arkansas. So other than that, I think that's pretty much it at this point. We're just kind of keeping an eye on everything here. So we'll zoom out. Let's go ahead. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to turn this off. And we're going to go over to the national radar here, guys. The national radar is going to tell us everything that we need to know here. So Let's zoom out. Let's kind of give you guys a statewide view of what's going on here. So now that we have the tornado warning that for Phillips County is there till 3:30, I want to kind of give a statewide view because there's a lot of folks that are tuning in right now. This is what happened earlier on. I'm going to go back to the last 6 hours here, and I'm going to walk you through what's been happening across the state here. So this was this morning. You see that line of storms that pushed through central Arkansas, with northeastern Arkansas here, produced that massive wind. And now you have the southern end trying to get going. This has been a very long event for us here in Arkansas, okay? And then now this activity is moving out. More rainfall starting to develop, coming up from the north. Looks like this line is attempting to try to stall out across the Arkansas-Mississippi border. So we're going to see what ends up happening here. We're going to continue to kind of keep an eye on everything. But you can see it looks like there's an area of low pressure, that moved out from Oklahoma. There's one that developed here in central Arkansas, actually, that produced a wind. That activity has moved into Tennessee and into the Ohio Valley. And then we've got a lot of rainfall setting up for our folks in western and now coming up into central Arkansas here. So this is just going to be a rainy, cool afternoon here. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can, there it is. I got you set up here. I'm going to head in. Oh wow, so I just realized something. The sensor that we have that gives us the temperatures across the area has been knocked out. So you're not going to get a good read on the current temperatures in the state right now. So what we're going to do is this. I have to do this. Let me go ahead and go over to turn this radar off. And I'm going to see if I can get the evening update, the evening temperatures across the area. So there's the temperatures right now. The one has been knocked out in Little Rock right now here. I had to pull it up on our server. So temperatures are pretty cool right now, but you can definitely see where your temperatures are still warm. Lake Village, 81 degrees. Arkadelphia, DeQueen, Little Rock, Wynn, those have been knocked out. Everybody else is in the 40s and 50s across the area here. So you're pretty much done with severe weather across all of Arkansas, except for our folks in far eastern, along the Mississippi border, and also into western Mississippi and western Tennessee here, guys. Okay, so Dustin, are you ready to come back? I'm not sure if. Okay, you're good. All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, you're here. Awesome. So I was just kind of giving everyone kind of a rundown of what's going on right now here from a statewide perspective. And we can look down here. Let's go over to this tornado warning real quickly. That's going to go until 3:30. That's 12 minutes. And then we're going to go from there. So I'll go back over to the rotation detection. I'm going to turn all these products off and just focus on the tornado warnings here. So it makes the map look a lot clearer instead of having all those warnings kind of all over the place here. So have you heard anything on your side, Dustin?
I have not. Let's see. They just put out a new mesoscale. So let's see what Little Rock is. This is, starting to really move off to the south and east. So this is starting to come out of Little Rock. Even a mesoscale is embedded with this. But talking about downstream tornado watch, which is barely including anything of Arkansas. So we are really starting to see this move out of the state. And for the first time in about a week, we'll actually have more than about 24 to 48 hours worth of break before we finally get our first, what we would call that quiet pattern of weather across the state. And we will, but we'll continue to keep you updated right here as we're watching this severe tornado warning storm right there around Phillips County as it continues to move north and east of Friars Point at about 50 miles per hour.
So the only thing I've seen so far, even with the tornado warnings here, so the only thing I've seen so far is the flooding. I have not heard anything over here in Phillips County or anything like that has been on the ground, any damage or anything like that. Obviously, if you're in the Elaine area, if you're in Helena, West Helena area, just kind of stay where you are until about 3:30, and that's 10 minutes. And then I think we're going to be, trying to wrap this up in terms of a tornado threat, but we'll keep an eye on it. But I will say this: the flooding threat here, man, I don't know about you. My phone has been absolutely just destroyed with flooding reports right now. I mean, between the high water rescues, the the roads being washed out, between hearing about the catastrophic flooding and stuff like that. That's the number one thing I've been hearing all day long. Yeah. I have barely heard anything about tornadoes today outside of the tornado warnings that we've got in place and what happened in Northeast Arkansas earlier. I haven't heard anything about that. Everything, 90% of what I've been hearing about today is flooding. So you can go ahead.
Well, no, and that's good. I'm looking down at my phone right now, just exactly as what you said. That has actually issued a flash flood warning in effect for the area until 5:30. So that's still another 2 hours here in Northeastern Arkansas. It is dangerous and life-threatening situation. That is how significant the flooding and how the National Weather Service feels about it. It's dangerous and life-threatening situation. Do not attempt to travel unless you are fleeing an area subject to flooding or under an evacuation order. So that right there in itself is what they are saying about this area of flooding that is in Northeast Arkansas, folks. That is what we have been seeing. Rivers are breaching. Things are getting to a point where they're catastrophic tags during a severe event for flooding potential. Counties are the whole county being issued a flash flood warning, not just watches, and continuing to move across the state. Folks, this is something we're going to be dealing with over the whole weekend, even when severe weather actually moves out. When the tornado warnings completely move out of Arkansas, we are still going to be having to deal with flooded roadways and flooded rivers as such here all across the state.
Yep. So the biggest thing here is I'm keeping an eye on a couple of things. Number one, man, I this is from Arkansas Weather. Paul, the weather guru here. Like I said, we're not ignoring anybody in Phillips County. I want to make this crystal clear. This is why the tornado warning still remains in effect till 3:30. And what I'm going to do real quickly, so that way we don't get attacked in the comments here. I'm going to go ahead and put a track on this real quickly here. So it's going to move to the north and east about 45 miles per hour. I think they're probably going to let this go, but we're going to keep an eye on it. I think the area of rotation, let me clear that off a little bit. New area of rotation looks like it's getting going here instead of here. So we're going to put this one, I'll put it to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So there might be a new warning that get issued, but it's so on the outer edge of Phillips County. And into western Tennessee here. We'll have to wait and see what the National Service Memphis ends up doing with this. But anyways, so this is from Arkansas Weather, Paul the Weather Guru. I know him personally, Paul Wickerson. Folks, I know it's a Saturday, but if you don't have to be out for any reason, please do not get out. There is significant damage across the area from storms that have gone through the last 2 hours. Flooding is ongoing and has caused additional significant damage. There is no need to go out and sightsee. Please allow city crews, first responders to get out and do what they need to do to get information to the city managers and the government agencies, so that way, so that can get reported up the chain, so work can begin to get the resources they need to get stuff taken care of. Flooding is significant across many highways and neighborhoods and will continue to increase. If you live near any major rivers, flooding will increase during the next several days, despite the rain ending later today. Rivers will rise and will not crest until we get to the middle of next week. Into the middle of next week for most places. Please stay at home today. Enjoy your indoor activities and monitor things from home. Your first responders and other agencies would really appreciate it. I love that post from Paul. Like I said, I know that man personally. He's been a mentor to what I've done for the page and everything like that. Even him, he's saying himself that this is a situation that you need to be at home. So now what has happened is there is a new tornado warning here, but this this new warning, by the way, is moving out of Arkansas. So what's going to happen is, my folks in Helena, West Helena, we're going to tell you to take your tornado precautions. But what we're going to do here is I think this is enough for us to break away because this is moving out of Arkansas and moving into Mississippi. Let me make this crystal clear for everybody to understand and for folks that love attacking this page for some odd reason, for them to understand. This is moving out of Arkansas. This will be a western Mississippi problem. This is going to be moving to the north and east here. I literally just drew a track, and there, and that's, I don't even have cities pulled up on there. So right now, like I said before, there is a tornado warning for Phillips and Lee County. Let me make this crystal clear. This is moving out of Arkansas. This is moving into western Mississippi. What does that mean? At 3:30, we're going to break away from coverage. This is enough to put a radar update out. We have been doing coverage for the last 3 hours. If you add last night, it is 11 hours of straight coverage. We have flooding ongoing across the state that we need to talk about as well. We are not ignoring anyone in Phillips County. We're not ignoring anyone in Lee County up here. But folks, this storm is moving out of Arkansas. This is going into Mississippi. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait till 3:30, okay? There's a tornado warning. It's going to go until 4 o'clock this afternoon. We're going to break away from coverage, guys, okay? I think this is a situation now that we can get away with this being a radar update for the page, okay? So this tornado warning here, what we'll do is kind of do a quick, and what we'll do at 3:30, by the way, we'll do a quick statewide recap, you know, kind of talk about what's going on and everything like that. But I have that track right now, but you can see right now this area of rotation is moving into Mississippi. This is moving into Mississippi here. They're including Phillips, the eastern side of Phillips, even a portion of Lee County up here closest to the Mississippi River. But this activity is moving into Mississippi. This is going to become a West Mississippi problem coming up. And then eventually what will end up happening is on this potential track, it may go up into southwestern Tennessee. So I'm going to zoom this out. Like I said before, that's the only tornado warning in the state right now. It's going to go for eastern Phillips County and Lee County. And then that is it for the rest of the state. And we are going to sound the all clear for Arkansas. There is no more tornado warnings. There's no more severe weather coming. We are good to go. We have wrapped up what has been the most active stretch of severe weather that I have and Dustin and everybody else in this team has personally covered over the last couple of years here, guys, okay? But I'm stressing this because there's going to be folks that are going to try to attack this page, attack our team, everything like that. Folks, we care about every single county in Arkansas, all 75 counties. If we deemed that storm as a threat to Arkansas, we would be live till 4 o'clock this afternoon. I promise you. But this is moving into West Mississippi here. Similar to last night, what happened up there in Northeast Arkansas, there was a tornado warning up here in Mississippi County. That storm moved into Tennessee here, okay? So, like I said, this is a situation that most of Arkansas, you can breathe easy now. I understand that sirens are probably going to still be going off in Helena and West Helena. That's why we're still live right now. But other than that, I think that is pretty much it. We're going to kind of hang on for just a little bit longer. I'm going to let this storm get into Mississippi before we hop off of coverage, Dustin. So let's call it, it's 328. Let's call it 335, 340. That gives enough time to get out of Arkansas and get into West Mississippi, and then I think we'll be good to go here. That way, we cover all of our bases here, and we're good to go. So is there anything that you want to address or you want to kind of get out before we end coverage for a good bit here?
No, this is just something that's been, like I said, just been all around team effort. I appreciate everything that all the moderators, everybody that has been a part of this team that has gotten, everything out to the page, has been able to, keep us informed, that's been able to, deal with comments, that's been able to, post stuff to the page. Like I said, this has been an eventful past week and eventful past 48 hours. Folks, we, like I said, love all you guys here in the state of Arkansas. We, do this on a Friday night and a Saturday, all for you guys, because like I said, we want to make sure everybody it's safe and everybody has, information as much as possible. And like I said, this has been a long event in the state of Arkansas. You can finally take your breath of fresh air and sigh and be relieved that this is moving into Western Mississippi, and this has become now what is officially moving into a basically just a recover and and just kind of effort to in Arkansas to make sure that we're watch out for your neighbors. If you see somebody, if you're in an area that you can see you could be a help to somebody, or you neighbors got a tree down and you got a chainsaw. Hey, this is where Arkansas can be Arkansas and be neighborly, help each other out. Go there and like I said, I'm not saying get out and drive all around town, but I'm just saying, like I said, if you see your neighbor needs some help with some stuff, check on your elderly people that are around you. Just make sure that people are around you are safe and okay. And then folks, just enjoy the first time in about a week to a week and a half that you have some quiet air around you, that you are not worried about another system up and coming the next day or two. We are actually in the clear for quite some time, but it doesn't mean that spring and tornado season is over. It just means that we are in the clear right now, and we are continuing to going to keep you updated with everything on the page. We are not going anywhere. We will just be updating you out on the page as we go along throughout the rest of the system.
So I will say this, and I'm going to make this crystal clear. Tomorrow, there will be no updates from our page. We are going to take the rest of the weekend off. All of us have been doing this for a week. We're going to take the rest of the weekend off. We will not have any not radar updates. We'll not have any forecasts or anything like that. That will be picked back up on Monday. We're going to take the entire team. My moderators are listening to this, and everybody right now, we're taking the entire weekend off. Once this is cleared, the entire weekend off. We're going to enjoy the calm weather coming up here in Arkansas. But the entire team tomorrow, we're not going to be posting any updates or anything like that. I will say this. I want to kind of, before we hop off of here, I want to kind of give a couple of things here. Number one, we have had a lot of people interest in merchandise. That is something that we're going to be working on next week. We'll get that going. We've had a lot of people ask about donations. If that is something you are interested in, you can contact us. We have multiple ways that you can do it. If you are a business owner, preferably we're looking for grocery store owners. We're looking for, restaurant owners and stuff like that. If you own a business and you want to advertise on here, send us an email. The email, one of my guys, if y'all can get that in the comments, you can take care of that. A quick shout out to our sponsors. None of this would have been possible without them. That's BBB. That's Little T's Mini Golf up there in Mount Home. That's With Him and Moreland Construction. That's going to be, a couple others, Farmers Insurance, our tornado shelters systems. That was a recent partnership. Arkansas Air Expeditions, which I'm very excited about that partnership in particular, because we got a lot of plans coming up in the summer that's going to be really cool for you guys to check out. So make sure you check out our sponsors, guys. They make this stuff happen. They make Arkansas Weather Watchers happen. They make all of this, all the graphics and all the radar and everything like that. They make all that happen. If that's something that your business wants to be a part of, feel free to contact us. We work with everybody across the state, local companies, mom and pop companies, the big agencies and stuff like that. We work with everybody. So if that's something that you are interested in, and somebody that's interested in that, give them a call. You can also ask our sponsors how things have been for them. The business has been great, especially the tornado shelter people. I feel so bad for them. I told Jimmy the other day that there was going to be an influx of people coming in asking for tornado shelters, and I would recommend getting in contact with them even after the storm. Talk to those guys. It would not hurt for everybody across Arkansas to have that tornado shelter, to have that safe place in motion here, guys. So other than that, I know the Storm Prediction Center, the newest update for Storm Prediction Center has put the enhanced risk in far southeast Arkansas. They are trimming it. The next update, the risk is going to be gone because all the storms have left Arkansas. Dustin, I think that has let's call it 340. Let's call it 340.
Okay.
Let's get this because I can see it. It's still right there on that Phillips County line, which we can zoom down real quick. And that's going to be it here. So here's your area of rotation. I know the sirens are still going off in Helena and West Helena. That's why we're still live right now. We're going to wait until this gets into Mississippi. Once it gets in Mississippi, this no longer is an Arkansas issue. This is for our folks in Mississippi and also into Tennessee here, guys. So other than that, man, I think that's it. And I think our team deserves the rest of the weekend off. And like I said before, this is it, guys. Like I said before, it's been a nightmare. And we told you guys, before Derek left and everything like that for his retreat, this has been a really big event for us here in Arkansas. Over the next couple of days, we're going to be, National Service is going to be sending survey teams out, taking care, trying to see what happened and all that. And we start to, pick up the pieces from the recent tornado outbreaks that we've had across the state here. So I will leave us off with this, and I hate doing this, but late month, things are going to start to get back warm and humid once again. Don't take this cold air that's coming up and think that spring is gone, because Arkansas likes to do that. Speaking of cold air, there could be potential of frost and freeze next week. Well, we're going to talk more about that coming up in a little bit. Well, not in a little bit. Probably on Monday. We'll talk more about that as we get into next week. But, obviously, when you're so close to Easter, there's always that frost and freeze potential. But then after that, things are going to start to warm up, etc., and we're going to go from there. But at least for right now, we're going to take the rest of the day. We're going to take tomorrow. I'm half considering taking Monday, too, to kind of rest and get recuperated and everything like that. And then give you guys the forecast and stuff like that back on the page here. So, Dustin, I think this has moved into Mississippi. If you have anything you want to add real quick, and then I think that's pretty much it.
Nope. I'm just, like I said, and I want to echo what you said. Thank you to our sponsors and everything. And, like I said, guys, breathe, relax, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Like folks, there I know, like I said, who are still affected by floodwaters and everything. Guys, like I said, don't, but reach out, make sure, like I said, if anybody around you, like I said, anybody in the areas that's been impacted, reach out and make sure to check on them. And like I said, guys, like I said, be good to each other. And like I said, it's been one heck of a start to spring. Let's say that, and let's just hope that we get some more quiet time than what's anticipated. And when it does come back up, guys, we'll be here for you to keep over and keep watch on the whole state of Arkansas.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much it, Dustin. I think we have we've let that storm get out of Phillips County here. The area of rotation itself now is now going to be in Mississippi fully. So I'm going to leave it off with this. Like I said before, I'm going to just give one last check. Let's do it real quick. There's your new area of rotation here. It is just on the east side of Phillips County. So I know sirens are still going off in Helena, West Helena here. Those that are tuning in right now kind of figuring out that this area of rotation, just a clarification, has moved away from the area. As a matter of fact, okay, that's even better. Tornado warning's gone. The tornado warning is gone for those areas. That's even better. The tornado warning has been dropped for this area. So, all right, Dustin, we're good. This is an all clear for the state of Arkansas. All clear.
Did you just say the words I heard?
All clear. This is an all clear message for the entire state of Arkansas for severe weather and tornadoes. Flooding will become an issue, especially for central, northeastern, and southern Arkansas later on. But in terms of tornadoes, it is an all clear for the entire state of Arkansas. Let me scream down to the mountaintops. This is an all clear for the state of Arkansas. We are done. It has been one hellacious stretch of tornado outbreaks, severe weather outbreaks. It is done. The tornado warning has been dropped for that area. I'm looking at our breaking alert system over there. There's only 2 severe thunderstorm warnings remaining for Chico County. And I know that's severe thunderstorm warning for Lee and Phillips, but that is in Mississippi. We are done. And the one in Chico County is going to be in effect until 4 o'clock, and that's under 20 minutes. We are done. It is a all good. It is a touchdown, Arkansas. We got it. We are good to go. It is a we can breathe easily. I'm ready for it. Dustin's ready for it. Our team's ready for it. Let's go get some rest, Arkansas. Let's enjoy the rest of our Saturday, and let's go get some rest here. So, from myself, Dustin, and everybody else, that is all we got for you guys right now, and we'll continue to keep you guys updated right here, your source for all things
For all
Arkansas
things
weather.
Arkansas weather.